I'm muting my mic now. Good afternoon everyone and welcome to live and uninterrupted coverage of the round 3 of the 2012 Thrustmaster Formula SimRacing World Championship here at the Chinese Grand Prix at the Shanghai International Circuit. I'm Scott Woodwiss, alongside me Nick Rowland and our pit reporter Liam Jenkins, and we're going to cover the action for you all across the qualifying session, including the top 10 shootout and the 56-lap Chinese Grand Prix. So you just join us here with about a couple of minutes left to go in practice, with the current top 10 stands at Morgan Moran currently top for the 134.107. He's about a tenth and a half ahead of Woodwiss, his championship rival. Rasmus Ty's up there in third with Philip Pushka fourth. Yannick Lapchan is 5th with René Room 6th, and Peter Burlack in for Twister Racing 7th. Jarkko Mikkonen is returning to the series good position. He's in 8th, and we'll come back to him later on. Patrick De Witt is 9th, and Dejan Kostanov rounds out the top 10. So Nick, we're 2 races in now, and we've had 2 different winners. In terms of the main championship contenders, do you really, at the moment, it looks to be between Woodwiss and Moran. Do you reckon possibly it'll be more of the same, or do you reckon we'll see a new championship challenger crop up in China today?
Yeah, well, first, good afternoon to everyone. In terms of what we may see today, we could also see Fredrik Nilsson, I think, from Twister Racing shake things up a bit towards the front of the field between Morgan Moran and Woodwiss, who currently have been very, very convincing at the front of the field in the first 2 races in Melbourne and Malaysia. So we may see a shake-up with Fredrik Nilsson pushing towards it. He finished not too far behind the guys in Malaysia, so we may see one of the Twister cars heading up. And then also, you know, the teammates of each driver, so the teammates of Woodwiss, Morgan Moran and Fredrik Nilsson in the second Precision ATR and Twister cars may also knock on the top 2. In terms of other drivers, not too sure at the moment. I think they're just a little further behind, but not too far, so they're certainly improving though.
Well, of course, all the drivers will be able to try and stop Morgan Moran's pole streak. He'll be looking for 3 pole positions in a row, and obviously Woodwiss will be able to try and claim his first one of the season. Let's quickly go to Liam Jenkins, our pit reporter. Liam, do you have any news for us as to what's been going on since Malaysia?
Yeah, firstly, good afternoon everyone, and there has been an update in the Silverline team actually. They've taken a new driver in the Brazilian of Cossi to take his seat next to Blair Disley, so it'll be interesting to see how he gets on today. And obviously ATR looking to try and bounce back after Woodwiss's victory. Yannick Lapchan back in his normal race conditions after racing in a hotel, if you remember, in Malaysia. And apart from that, I think it's all general stuff at the front.
Excellent stuff, thank you Liam. Just under a minute left to go in practice before we get on to the first qualifying session then for this afternoon's Chinese Grand Prix. Looking at who is out on track currently at the moment, looking at our live time, we've got roughly about half the field is out there. A couple of drivers that haven't set any lap time so far. It looks to be Giuseppe Ranieri and Jimmy Dion. Those are the only 2 drivers that haven't set a lap time yet. Also, we've had Cozy has also just dropped out of the server for a while, but he'll be back in a second, I would have thought. But Morgan Moran is still top of the standings at the moment. Looking through some of the drivers that are up there, good to see. I think Philip Pushka's up there in 6th place. He won yesterday's World Series race, and it looks like he's racing this afternoon for Ash Racing. Obviously, Nick, just coming to you. Obviously, now that Pushka has won the World Series race, do you think that will carry a little bit of an advantage? Do you think that will help him coming to this afternoon's race?
Well, we saw this 2 weeks ago as well, where the person that won the World Series race actually did quite well in the World Championship as well, so it can carry across. Obviously they've done a full race distance as well, so that they're fully up to speed with it and are very, very comfortable in the car. And at the moment, but you know, Pushka in the Ash Racing car on a 34.734, 7 tenths off Morgan Moran, but or 6 tenths, sorry, off Morgan Moran, but nevertheless that's still very good to see. In terms of other news coming into the event, there's a few driver changes also, which is, again, Peter Burlack has joined Twister Racing He did very, very well last time out in World Championship. World Trophy he won yesterday as well. I believe as it stands currently at the moment though, Twisted don't have a full-time World Championship second driver, but Peter is doing a fantastic job filling in just at this moment in time. Looks like Giuseppe Ranieri has joined instead of David Greco for the Matt Corp team. Jaakko Mikkonen has come in for Precision Motorsports instead of the departed currently, and we hope to see you back very, very soon racing race director, but Mikko Plumalainen. Eros Masculi is driving instead of Stoffel van Dorn, who I believe is racing this weekend, and at the moment is doing very, very well. I believe the second race is possibly today. There has been a few changes also in terms of calendar. There's been adjusted to coincide with the real F1. Dates remain the same, but the actual tracks have changed. So instead of Valencia next, it's Monaco. And also all the pit boxes have been fixed. There was an issue where drivers were stacking. Now there will no longer be that issue. And then also the random pit stop times are removed, and it's the same for everyone. We saw some very differing strategies and pit box times between the Precision and ATR team last time out, which caused, well, it was race changing to be honest with you, because Barnacle came out in front of Moran and stayed there. So a few changes since the last event in Malaysia.
Well, qualifying has now got underway, and you're seeing the Renault Room leading the cars around. He's followed by rather eager Bono Weiss, looking to possibly try and get past Renault Room, but of course he had to stay between the white lines to and not avoid getting himself a penalty. But looking at it, looks like it's Renault Room's out on track, followed by Bono Weiss, Patrick de Witt, and also looks like the second car there of, looks like Marcel van der Linden in the second RS Evo car. Let's give you an update quickly of how the championship standings look. In the driver's standings, it is Bono Weiss and Morgan Moran's equal on points with 43 each. The Bono Weiss actually looks like on the actual standings actually is top at the moment with Bono second. Then Frederick Nilsson sits third with 23 points. It's very kind of a congested kind of battle for third place at the moment. You've got Frederick Nilsson on 23, Rasmus Tali on 18, Stoffel van Dorn, of course, we say he's not racing this weekend, he's on 15, David Greco's on 12, but then we've got Jim Parisis and Edward Belorqui are on 10 points respectively, both equal 7th, and then rounding out the top 10 we've got Yannick Lapshan in 8th with 9th, excuse me, with 8 points, and Dejan Kostanov in 10th with 6. Team Championship, currently it's just held with a lead of ATR Management just by 2 points, then they lead with 51 points to Precision Motorsports 49. Then Twister Racing kind of in a bit of no man's land in 33 points in 3rd, then GT Omega Racing in 4th with 24, and then we've got a battle for 5th going on between AT Racing, Matt Core and Ghost Speed with 15, 13 and 10 points respectively. Just looking then on screen, we've got the first couple of the cars coming around to start by lap times. Bono Weiss has gone ahead and bolted ahead of Renault Room, who's now got his teammate Marcel van der Linden behind him, with Patrick de Witt holding on track as well, 4th on the road. So first few lap times are going to start coming in then. Live timing, have to bear with us because our live timing is a little bit behind, or mine is anyway, but we'll try and do the best we can to keep the times and the sector times as they come in. Ambient temperature 26.7 degrees, track temperature 27.9. So I mean, Nick, just quickly looking on the track temperatures, I mean, is this a little bit cooler than we'd expect in China, do you reckon?
Maybe a little more so on the cooler side, but doesn't seem to be affecting the drivers too much. I was just watching Bono Weiss on board. It looks like he's still got good grip through the corner, so I don't think it's being a huge effect at the moment in this initial part of qualifying. So at the moment, I wouldn't have thought so.
Just looking at the first few sector times coming in for Sector 1, Bono Weiss, of course, is quickest on a 25.094. Second quickest to that as they start funneling in looks to be at the moment Frederick Nilsson on a 25.193. Sector 2 times coming up now, and look at that, Morgan Moran's quickest on that one with a sector time of 27.960. So obviously at the moment he looks looking good to grab himself a provisional pole position, or at least the quickest time in Session 1. Of course, remember the format of qualifying is the top 10 go through to the second session, they get one flying lap and they start in the reverse order of how they finished in this first session. One lap on low fuel but with parc fermé settings, so obviously you get one shot to have a go at pole position. First few laps are starting to come in. Philip Bushka actually has just gone ahead and set a slightly quicker second sector time than Bono Weiss. And also Morgan Moran set a quicker first sector time, so if Weiss comes across the line and he grabs himself a 1:34.403 to go top. And then Renault Room stops into second and Marcel van der Linden is third. So we'll wait obviously for the likes of Morgan Moran and Philip Pushka, and also of course Frederick Nilsson to set his time. In fact, he does now at 1:34.9. But in terms of, it looks as though really the first couple of rows are kind of really already settled with Weiss and Moran. But who do you think is possibly going to be challenging right behind them, Nick?
I suspect the Twister cars will be very much thereabouts. Just watching on board as well, Morgan Ran, he is nearly a tenth underneath Bono's time, so he should elevate himself straight to the top. Yeah, I still think it'll be the Twister of Frederick Nilsson behind those two at the moment, unless we get a real surprise. Wow, that's a very quick final sector there from Morgan Ran. 0.232 underneath Bono's time, so looks like there maybe a touch more straight line speed there for Morgan Ran, but still able to hold the first and second sector, so great job there for Morgan Ran. 34.171 he's done.
Absolutely, that's just under a quarter of a second quicker than Weiss has actually managed. He's still out there, of course, trying to get another lap time down. Let's quickly go to Liam in the pits. Do you have any news as to who possibly looks looking good to get into the top 10?
Not quite yet. It's still looking quite competitive out there. You've got Blair Disley just underneath at the moment, around literally just 0.001 seconds away from Patrick Devetti, who's currently holding the top 10. Peter Burlack again looking quite strong in the Twister in 12th position, and Giorgio Boldi in 13th. But we saw in the World Series yesterday that it all changed literally within the last minute of qualifying, with drivers who were 12th and 13th jumping up to 3rd and 4th. So it's definitely far from over here in China.
Absolutely, thank you, Liam. If you're watching yesterday, we had a couple of awesome races with the World Trophy and the World Series. There was drama in the World Trophy race actually, with Villa Lapala was so close to grabbing himself a first World Trophy winner, then heartbreakingly with about a few laps to go, it looks like his front brakes failed and he had to drop all the way and back and finished eventually 9th. But that was a tough pit call for him, and of course with Philip Pushka also winning the World Series race, that was a fantastic race to watch as well. So we've been treated with some good racing this weekend. Hopefully the World Championship will live up to that. With about just under 5 minutes of the session left to go then, we're going to see if we can try and follow some of our guys on some laps then, to see if we can find out that he's doing a lap. We have currently got Boniface out on another lap, so he's just sweeping now through turns 3 and 4, and now heading up towards the end of the first set. Let's see what this lap time will currently give him. Again, our live timing is slightly behind on what we're seeing on the action on the screen, so do bear with us on that one. He's at the end of the first sector, and coming up on our screen, what has he managed? 25.171, so it's not the quickest first sector, but he is out there trying to improve. He is currently second, and he's actually, obviously, as we said, just under a quarter of a second behind Morgan Moran's time. Philip Pushka, what an effort from him, he's made it. He's in 3rd place at the moment out on track, so he's done there with a 1:34.528, but we'll see how they quickly go on that, see how these top guys do on that. John X Saxon doing well up there in 4th, as Weiss then comes to the end of the second sector and flicks through turns 11, then goes high around the exit at turn 12, and then just tucks back into that apex on turn 13, and then sets him onto the long 1.2 kilometre back straight. And this is where he's got a chance to just assess how he's going to attack the hairpin down at turn 14. Just relax a little bit. He's got Rafael Cosi in the Silverline car just ahead, and just ahead of him is Weiss's teammate, the returning Jarkko Mikkonen. Mikkonen, of course, we'll touch on Mikkonen a little bit later, but of course he's returning to replace Mikko Purvalainen, as we said. So Weiss then takes it round the hairpin up towards the final corner. Looking at his sector time, the second sector wasn't really anything special either. 28.027. He comes across the line, and this time will actually be as it comes now. Time hasn't come up on our screen just yet. He's done a 34.587. That's quite a way off what Morgan Moran's done. So having a look through here, I mean, Jim Parisov's had a break qualifying so far in 7th. Nick, in terms of the qualifying times we've had so far, who do you think is causing a big surprise so far in this first session?
Well, in terms of what we've just seen from Boniface on that last lap, it looks like he struggled a little bit for traction, especially coming off onto the back straight. It looks like the ATR car is slightly stronger, and that's what's given him maybe that 2/10 advantage in the final sector. So it looks like the ATR car's got some very, very good traction off the corners, whereas Bono doesn't seem to be able to quite get on the power as early as he'd like to. Nevertheless, he's only a few tenths behind after all. This is Bono who he's talking about, so it looks pretty good. But I think I'm still massively impressed with 3rd position at the moment with Philip Pushka. I mean, that's a tremendous job. He's only a 10th behind Bono at the moment, 3 tenths off Morgan Moran, so fantastic job there, and 6/1000ths of a second with Yannick Lapshin in the second ATR car. So Yannick Lapshin looking pretty strong. I believe actually he won Yannick Lapshin here in 2004. He won actually. So Yannick Lapshin has had a race win around here, and it is being proven at the moment how good he potentially could be, and he could actually knock on the door of the top 2. He's only 4 tenths behind.
Speaking of results, looking at last year's results, we had Bono Huiz obviously won the race from Morgan Moran, so kind of the top two haven't really changed since last year. Since last time we were here. Frederick Nilsson was third for Twisted and Rasmus Tali. Jim Paris had a good run last year in fifth, and he finished ahead of Yannick Lapshin. Kostanov was seventh, because Pumalainen came in eighth place with Gogo Boldy and Renault Room. Pardon me, that's actually the results was a pang. I do apologise on that one. It was actually, I'll correct myself. Bono Huiz was actually winning, obviously Jarkko Miekkinen second, and Pumalainen was third. Greco was then fourth. I think David Greco was fifth. And I'm going to just follow Philip Pushka then. Quickly, we'll cut off from those results. He's now on another lap with just under a minute to go then in this first session. And obviously he's going to try and find himself 3.5 tenths through the first sector. On this lap rather. So let's see what he's managed. He's done a personal best in the first sector, 25.227. So it'll all be about how he manages to hold himself through the second sector. I'm going to quickly jump on board with him. Picks up the power through the exit of turn 10 up towards then the end of the second sector. Has he managed to find any time at all? Can he possibly find just that tenth of a second to haul himself into a second place spot just ahead of Bono Huiz? It won't be the official grid because we still have that top 10 session to go, but of course it'll give him a bit more confidence going into it. He's done a personal best in the second sector. This is all looking good then for Philip Pushka. If he can possibly find himself into second place ahead of Bono Huiz, I don't think, Nick, anyone would be expecting that.
No, and Bono's gone slower in sector 1 as well. He's tenth and a half down on his own time, let alone Morgan Moran, so he's struggling through sector 1. Obviously, Philip Pushka is underneath his own time. He's nearly 2 tenths off Morgan Moran. Morgan Moran was so strong in his final sector. Oh! That's not going to do any favours for him. No, he lost all that time. Oh, that's a shame. But nevertheless, that was still a good effort. Morgan Moran has gone through the first sector 10th off, coming up to the second sector now. He's 10th and a half off. Bono Huiz has gone through the middle sector. He's coming down that long sweeping right-hander onto the back straight.
I think we've just seen someone jump up into the top 10. I didn't quite see who that was. That might have been, it might even have been Jarkko Miekkinen's jumped back into the top 10 with us in 6th place with a 1:34.601. In fact, yes, it was. So Miekkinen then on his return to FSR since he raced faster than speed in Australia. Good stuff from him to get the second precision car up there into 6th. It also looks like Gogo Boldy's got himself up into. Well, no, hold on, is that Gogo Boldy? Not sure. It might have been possibly.
Bono's lap's gone, by the way. It's gone completely now, and Morgan Moran's also gone slower. So it's still 1-2 for them, though.
Absolutely. Let's go to Liam. Any news on any of the drivers that look they haven't made the top 10? Any news from anyone who hasn't made the top 10? Any problems that have occurred from any drivers?
Not that I know of yet. I mean, as he said at the moment, hats off to Renault Room, just missing out there by literally 9,000ths of a second outside the top 10. So Peter Burlack just scraped in at the end, but the RS Evo team's getting closer and closer to getting a top 10 qualifying result here.
Just one quick shock, actually, I've just noticed, is Frederick Nilsson. He's in 16th. So the Twister racing team with Frederick Nilsson, who usually we'd see well up towards the front of the field, is in 16th. That's a bit of a surprise.
I'll try and get some info on that one.
Yeah, excellent. Thank you for that, Liam. Obviously, meanwhile, his teammate Peter Burlack, who had a very impressive World Trophy race yesterday, and actually managed to go ahead and do that.
Now that's actually impressive. Peter Burlack he's actually out-qualified, and that's a brilliant job. That's World Trophy driver he won. So that's a massive effort. So big well done to Peter Burlack for out-qualifying and getting inside the top 10 as well.
I'm just looking at someone notes here, saying that Peter Burlack said he's not going to drive in the top 10 session. He's going to save his tyres. So it looks as though he's possibly looking to strategies to not run this session out of choice. It looks like it'll be Jim Paris that will go out first in that basis. But yeah, I mean, Nick, obviously that could be possibly key in the race. Obviously, seeing if he's saving tyres. So I mean, do you reckon he'll have some kind of advantage going into the race and obviously having a fresh set of tyres? Do you reckon?
I don't know if it makes a massive difference because do they start on what they end qualifying? Yeah, so it could work to his favour. I think the other thing he may realise is that he may not go higher than he already is. So it's not the worst decision ever because if they do end it and then they go out on the tyres that they end on, then he's got a fresh set essentially. So it's not the worst idea ever. And if he feels more comfortable staying in the inside of the top 10, but at the back of the top 10. Then fair play, and that tyre advantage at the start especially may work to his favour. So then obviously it would be Jim Paris that would go out first, wouldn't it?
Absolutely. Just get you looking at the times. What is actually amazing to see, just to confirm how competitive the championship is. I saw the first 18 cars were covered by less than a second. So that was the quickest time of Morgan Moran down to 18th, which is Marcel van der Linden for RS Evo.
Really?
Absolutely. It's just confirms just how competitive and how closely matched all these drivers are in the World Championship. Let's quickly run down the top 10 that we had then. So obviously this will be in reverse order that we'll see them. So Morgan Moran was top of that qualifying session, ahead of Bono Huis. Then Philip Pushka, as you said, Nick, ever impressive in third place after his World Series win yesterday. Yannick Lapshan actually snuck up into fourth place in the second ATR management car. Then John Eric Saxon for Fast and Speed. That's a great effort from him as well for Fast and Speed. They've had a bit of a, in all fairness, a bit of had a torrid season last year, so this is good to see their fortunes turning around. Precision Motorsports, their second driver Jarkko Miekkinen is in sixth. If actually, that's interesting. Actually, Peter Bella's actually gone out. So
yeah, I think he was just teasing before. He has gone out on track. I didn't think there was any difference with it. I couldn't remember if there was a difference from the tyres at the end of qualifying into the race, but it doesn't look like there is. So he's still gone out on track. Fair play to him. I think he should do. I think it's better for us watching him qualifying, and you know, he may just find that one of the other drivers make a mistake, and he finds himself slightly higher up in the pecking order. So yeah, I think respect to the Twister team, and once again we've got to underline what a job he's done to get himself firstly inside the top 10. This is a World Trophy driver, and out-qualify his teammate. That's fantastic, that. So massive congratulations to Peter Burlack, and I'm sure Twister Racing will be delighted with that, but not too sure. A bit of head scratch going on behind what happened to Frederick Nilsson there.
Yeah, apparently there's just been a bit of a setup, sorry to put in there, so a bit of a setup issue. I haven't quite got the pace this weekend in China, and Fred's just trying to eke everything out of the car, but it just isn't quite there for him at the moment. And Peter Burlack, obviously, with some experience in the World Trophy, as you said yesterday, so he's obviously just got that little bit more pace, and it's starting to show as he's out on track now, setting it well, coming around to do his hot lap.
Absolutely. Thanks for the information, Liam. Much appreciated. Yes, as you said, Peter Burlack then actually. Oh, hold on. He's just backing off there, and he's going to start his first lap. So we'll get our first contingent then of the top 10 qualifying session for this afternoon's Formula SimRacing World Championship Chinese Grand Prix, and across the line goes Peter Burlack. Heads up towards turn 1 then. And this corner is a very unique Snell corner. You have to make one sweep with the wheel and be very committed through here, and then sweep towards the exit of turn 2, into apex of turn 2. Then through turn 3, and then use all the exit on turn 4. And then through the little kink of turn 5, and then just sweep underneath the bridge, which is where the first sector time will be. And I'll look at my sector time, and that was actually a sector time of 25.327. So obviously that's the benchmark that Burlack set down in sector 1. As he sweeps then through turns 7 and 8. And just nicely running through there. So I'll see how he runs in the end of the second sector, but as you said, impressive stuff from Peter Burlack. We'll see possibly where he can put himself in the qualifying session. Wonder maybe if he's got the pace to put himself higher than the top, higher than where he finished in the first session in 10th. But nevertheless, he's ahead at end in the second sector, and that second sector time was 28.024. Not the quickest we've seen, but it might just get him somewhere up further than 10th place, possibly, Nick.
Yeah, obviously we'll have to see how the other guys will perform at the moment, but it's been pretty solid. As we saw through turn 1, turn 1's quite unique here. There's a couple of different lines. You can sweep from quite a wide entry and sweep into the apex, so you can go in quite narrow, go out wide, and then cut back. So he went for that sort of wider line through turn 1. It didn't look like it hindered him too much, but he's coming through the final corner now, driving directly for the line. Ooh, a little bit of a twitch off the curb, but it was not too bad. It's a 34.9, so that's not a bad effort there. So good job from Peter Burlack.
Just a quick note, apparently according to our race director, we have unfortunately lost pictures for the moment, so apologies for that. Our broadcast director is trying to get those pictures for problems rectified as soon as possible. But obviously, we have to describe for you now until we actually get that Jim Paris has now just crossed the line then. So for the moment, our broadcast has now become a radio show, but we'll do the best that we can for you. So Jim Paris heads through turn 1 then. Holds it nice and tight on the inside, then just nicely clips it. He just almost slightly missed the apex of turn 2 there, but hugs it nice to the inside for turns 3 and 4. And obviously, the anticipation will be to see exactly what sector time he can come up with. Again, bear with us as a live timing is slightly behind what we're seeing on track. And Paris's sector time is...
He's gone faster in sector 1. He's nearly half a tenth underneath, and even though he sort of missed that apex, he drifted in so well, but he still carried and maintained the speed. That was the crucial part for him there, as he comes through the 9-10 complex. which is a double left-hander, but it's all about traction off these two corners, and it can be very difficult steering and getting on the power. And he heads to the second sector beam, so he's actually on slow through there, so he's half a tenth behind Peter Burlack now, so he's lost a tenth total in that middle sector. So it doesn't look like he got as much downforce. Now he may make this up on the final sector. He took a very wide line through turn 13 as we head down this, one of the longest straights actually we've got in Formula 1. It's all the way down this back straight into the heavy braking zone. He's hitting 302 kilometers an hour. A superb brake in there. The car just seemed to stop absolutely plumb dead. That was great work there. As he now heads into the final corner, he'll drop from 6th to 3rd gear over the curbs and pointed straight for the line. He does a 1:34.867, and he's underneath Peter Burlack's on provisional pole position.
Yeah, great stuff. And also, just being told that our pictures are back now, so you should be seeing on track. You should be seeing now Gergo Baldi in the Netrex Grand Prix car heading towards turn 1. Of course, now 1:34.867 is the target to beat then. And
just on Gergo Baldi, that's a fantastic job actually get the Netrex inside the top 10 as well. We missed that one. That's fantastic effort to see that Netrex up there. And Gergo Baldi, I think, has been a bit of a standout in the past 2 races as well. So excellent job. And he's now just heading down to the first sector, and he's just over half a tenth over Paris's time.
Yep, it's still a personal best, Baldi though, and compared to his teammate, rather unfortunate for Peter Varga as well, because he's down in 23rd on the grid. That's quite unfortunate for him. But nonetheless, I'm sure he'll want to try and rectify that later on in the Grand Prix this afternoon. Oh, and a big twitch from Baldi through turns 9 and 10. Did very well to keep the car in check through there, but of course that must have lost him a couple of tenths. And coming up towards the end of the second sector, and the sector he's pulled out, on my lap time updates, he's done a personal best there as well, but look at that, he's lost about 0.3 of a second off, 2 tenths off Paris's sector 2 time. But I'm sure this will mean that he's probably going to be cementing himself into 3rd place, so we'll see how he does. He comes down to the straight here, got about 189 miles an hour, and hard on the brakes at the 100-metre board. Puck right and just clip the apex nicely through the hairpin. All the exit you've got there. Oh, and again a big twitchy, that won't help him either. On the exit of the hairpin, through the final corner he goes then. Just a nice little bit of curb, keeps it all tidying together. Down the pit straight across the line, and he does a 1:35.444. That's a horrible time for him, unfortunately. Half a second off what Paris's managed. That's rather unfortunate for him, but we'll see how he gets on with that one.
That car has got horrible oversteer. He couldn't even bite off in the traction zones even. That was oversteering just about every corner he seemed to go into. But it's Rasmus Talley's turn now, so he will come across the line to start the lap now, as he heads underneath the very impressive media centre, I believe that is, here in China. As he goes into turn 1, he takes that very narrow line, very narrow line in fact, and then he lays a little bit wider and sweeps it in. Coming through turn 2, hug the inside as much as you can to try and get best drive off the corner and almost point it out of the corner. Heading down to the first sector beam, and he is 10.5 up on Jim Paris's time. That's a great first sector. Second gear corner down the hairpin as he climbs up over the rise into the sweeping left-hander, one of many sweeping corners on this track. It's a real tire eater, this one, as he now drops from 6th to 3rd gear, sweeping through the right-hander into the double left. And it's a lot smoother than Gergo Baldi was able to do in the previous lap, so great traction out of there as well. So 10.5, this might actually improve a little bit more. It does. In fact, he's just basically matched himself to the split in the second sector as he sweeps round 13, heading on to the back straight. He goes out much wider and down this long back straight now, building speed constantly. We've seen around about 303 kilometers an hour being the optimum speed. He's going to clip 301 now, 302. 302 he hits, so I think he may be just carrying a touch more downforce, which has obviously helped him in the first 2 sectors, and it should help him also in the final corner. So he'll drop from 5th to 3rd gear. It's not using tyre ratio. Always understeered. He took way too much inside curve there. That's compromised him. Yeah, massively.
Wow.
35.104. So we lost 3 to 4 tenths of a second there in the final corner. He took way too much inside curve, and it threw him off the exit.
Well, he's lost to 3rd place, as we said, and here comes then contender number 5. It is Jarkko Mikkonen. Good to see him back in a Precision Motorsport car since last year. as we said, he saw him in Australia, take the place in the fast and speed car. Now he's back in that precision team, and it's quite lucky they've been away really. He's up there in 5th place and in the top 10, and let's see how he gets on through turn 1 then. Swings it through, and again he's taking that tight line as did Rasmus Tali did, so I wonder, probably the first set is going to be quite equal as he now swings it, keeps it nice and tight for turn 3, uses bit of a twitch out of turn 4 there, but got the traction down eventually, up towards the end of that first sector. And the time he's managed to pull out on that one, as my updates.
He's underneath the time. He's 0.72 underneath Jim Paris's time, so it's nearly a tenth of a second in sector 1, and that was superb there through turn 1 especially, and it's fantastic to see Jaakko Mikkonen back in a race car and for Precision Motorsports. So 4th gear, he now drops into the double left hand in 2nd gear. Looks for the best traction in the line out the corner. He's got it short shift to 3rd gear to get optimal traction. So it wasn't a bad idea that at all, as he comes down a tenth and a bit underneath Jim Paris's time. This is looking a great run at the moment. 2nd gear sweeping through the very tight left right before turn 13, which is the long left front tyre killer. As we go down onto the back straight now, that comes to the end of a stint in particular. That left front will just be crying out for trying to find more grip, as the drivers will try and pound the living life out of them before they make their pit stop. So 306 kilometers an hour he hit there, so that's very good straight line speed. He actually outbraked himself into the final corner there. It's 306 kph there for Mikkonen. 6th gear, triple drops there to 3rd gear, sorry. Good line through the final corner, gets a positive drive off, and he does, he goes provisional pole, 134.714, 10th and a half underneath Jim Paris.
And just behind him, here comes another surprise in the top 10, Jon-Erik Saxon in the faster speed car. And I think we said earlier that faster speed had a pretty... their 2011 could have been better, but it's good to see them, like I said, back up there in the top 10. And here's Jon-Erik Saxon. Again, he takes that tight line through, as did Mikkonen, as did Tali. So it needs to be that if you keep it nice and close onto the inside on that white line, that's where you're getting the option traction. And that faster speed car looks wonderfully hooked up. No wheel spin, no drama at all. End of the first sector. And give me a quick update as to where he's managed to do it. He's matched Mikkonen. He has matched Mikkonen. He's slowed by just a couple of hundredths of a second, but he's still up there with the same sector time. Sweeps through turns 7 and 8 then, as you said. Lots of loads on the car. This is really going to heat the tyres up very quickly. Keep it to the right hand side. Again through turns 9 and 10. No drums. Oh, a little bit of a twitch through turns 9 and 10. That car didn't like getting back on the power then. Jon-Erik pushing the car as hard as he can. Second sector comes up then on my screen, and he has then quickly gone
2 tenths underneath, 2 tenths over. He actually lost that with all that traction. He actually lost a lot of time coming out of turn 9. So that compromised him. But he got good X out of 13, come down the back straight, and it is actually fantastic to see Jon-Erik Saxon back up at the sharp end of the field. He's been quite quiet in the first 2 races, but here he is again. We've seen him many years now in sim racing, and he is trying to make a charge back up through the field, and at the moment it's proven quite well. He had that slight moment, oh, way too late into the final corner. That's unfortunate. That was going to be a pretty solid lap that puts him 5th. That's a 35.154, 4 tenths of Jaakko Mikkonen. Such a shame that final corner. That final corner is catching a lot of people out.
Well, one person does need to call out is Yannick Lapshin as he starts his lap in the first of the ATR Management Senna tribute cars, and this is a wonderful looking car, the ATR Management car, with the red and the white kind of Marlboro tribute car, and obviously got the tribute to Senna on the rear wing with the 88, 90 and 91 livery, so marking Senna's 3 World Championships. And I would like to think that in some cases that team's got the spirit of Senna in it, but definitely walking him around with his pole position. So Yannick Lapshin then comes in that first sector, and his first sector has managed to get him, sorry, my lap timing is a little bit behind, so when you can have a look.
He's underneath, he is underneath, yeah, actually he is underneath, 0.027 to 2 thousandths underneath, as he now sweeps into this middle sector, which people have been finding tricky on traction. So let's see how this ATR car, he understeers the entry, but he gave some great traction, so they're actually compromising the entry to get a better exit. Now, does this work? Well, he actually lost time there, so that was too much understeer. 10th and a half over now from what Jaakko Mikkonen has done, and he looks like he really struggled to get through turn 10 and 11 before, sorry, 11 and 12 before 13. So he's struggling a little bit, but coming down the back straight now, he is 0.173 over what Mikkonen's done. So Mikkonen's still with a very solid time.
Excellent top speed.
Yeah, fantastic. Again, I think that was about 306 kilometers an hour. Sorry, I know that looks slightly different to you there, Scott. in terms of
okay.
KPH and MPH. For our European viewers, I thought I'd switch to KPH this season. So through the final corner and out onto the curb, he sweeps through and he's 2 tenths over, 34.929, and that is good enough for currently 3rd place.
Next up then is one of the drivers that everyone's been watching since the practice, since we had in qualifying 1, Philip Pushka. This should be an excellent lap from him. This has been the one we've been really anticipating from him before the big 2 are out there to stake their claim for pole position. But could we see a surprise from Pushka? Well, he's now having a nice tight, again, that tight line through turns 1 and 2. Again, hugs a bit of a lock up into turn 3 there, so he's going to see he's pushing. Again, back end looking nice and stable through turn 4. Through the kink of turn 5, and just quick, and Nick, quick update on sector 1.
0.071 over, so he's nearly a tenth. It's nearly a tenth over Pushka. I think he just got a little bit wrong coming out of turn 2 and 3, like you said. He had a slight lock up, and I think it compromised him on the exit. But that's still a pretty solid sector 1 to be less than a tenth off Jaakko Mikkonen and his calibers and standards. So Pushka here doing a great job. Let's see what traction's like through 9. That's great. That was really, really solid. That's through 9 and 10 there. That's probably the best we've seen, and he's only a tenth off Jaakko Mikkonen. This could be a great lap. So he sweeps through turn 12, and he'll try and accelerate through turn 13, and he comes low side the track. He goes low then out wide. That's a great line that he's got there. He came low and went out wide. That's the more conventional one, I believe, the more traditional sort of line that people have been taking. As he comes down the back straight now. Let's see what his top speed. It's 304 kilometers an hour, so it's probably a little bit more wing than what Mikkonen and the others have been using. Outbrakes himself into the hairpin though, that's going to compromise him. He didn't really square the corner off as well as he would have liked to as he sweeps through the final corner now, 3rd gear. Oh, good exit though, he got right on the power nice and early, he heads for the line. 2 tenths off, 0.011, 5th position. That's not too bad though. For his first time Pushka, that is a fantastic effort.
Absolutely. Now then, the battle lines are drawn. This is the 2 which everyone's waiting to see. First of all, double and reigning world champion Woodwiss starts his qualifying lap, and I'm pretty sure that this effort, we're going to be seeing possibly a purple sector time through at least sector 1, and keeps it tight as he does the others. Does he lock up through turn 3? No, he doesn't. There's a slight puff of smoke, but nothing that's going to trouble him too much. Nice little exit to turn 4. Goes a little bit wider than everyone as you saw the track, which is what you need to do. Flat through turn 5, of course, not towards the end of the first sector. And the first sector he produces...
He's underneath.
He is underneath.
0.038 underneath. That was a great first sector. He actually took that wide exit of turn 2 and really made it work for himself. He now sweeps through 6th gear, holding it all the way. Nice tight line. He's very, very tidy, Woodwiss. There's nothing really erratic about him other than that slight lock up there, just to say that. Still coming out at 9 and 10, on the power beautifully early. Great traction, great drive. He comes across the beam. He's a tenth underneath Jaakko Mikkonen's time. Sweeps into 11, then 12. He'll then accelerate all the way through 13. Try and get the best bite and the best traction. He's another one, kept it to the inside, then just right out wide. Really, really far out wide he drifted as he comes down the back straight now. Now we've already seen 306 kilometers an hour from Jaakko Mikkonen. Woodwiss' teammate, we will see the same again. 306 clips now, yes. 307 nearly, actually. He hit 307 kilometers an hour. 2nd gear into the hairpin. He'll drive cleanly off, driving towards the final corner. 6th gear, triple shift down to 3rd. Good exit, hold the power nice and early. He drives to the line in his pole position. It is 134.644, but he lost time actually in the final sector, but he is pole.
So one more to go then. This is one more contender, and it is the driver who's taken pole position in Australia and pole position in Malaysia. Can he make it 3 in a row? Here comes Morgan Moran in that Senna Tribute car with the Senna Tribute helmet, and he really does need the spirit of Senna right now to get himself a 3rd pole in a row. And again, nice and clean and tidy through turns 1 and 2. No lock up through 3. Nice exit. Oh, a little bit of a twitch through 4. Trying to get the power to use all the exit. And here we go up to the end of the first sector, and let's have a look and see what he produces. And is he up at all?
Nearly a tenth off. He's
wow.
Nearly a tenth.
That's quite a surprise. Probably expecting to be at least up there in pole position. He's his personal best first sector. And only one that's he's actually had three or four drivers actually been quicker than him through that first sector. That's quite surprising that Moran's off there. Let's have a look at his traction through turns 9 and 10 then. On the power, that's nice and good. Nice, clean line through there. It's good stuff from there. Can you make up the 2nd sector? Has the grip from this ATR car managed to help him hold up there into the 2nd sector?
Oh, he's found time. He's still underneath. It's 0.18, so it's so close between them, but he did find time in that 2nd sector.
Yep. Fastest second sector of anyone else that's set in his qualifying session. Then down the back straight, he's got this 1.2 kilometre back straight. Let's look at the clicks he managed to get on here in miles an hour. He's got 188, 189, 190. Will he reach 191? No, just not. He's just a fraction outside 191. Nice clean run through there. And nice exit here. This is for pole position then. Can Morgan Moran, has he found any time through the last sector? He swings through the last corner. What's his exit like? That's nice and clean and tidy down the hill. Is it pole position for Morgan Moran 3 in a row? The answer is yes, it is. My goodness, look at the time he found. 1:34.423. That is sensational. What a time for Morgan Moran.
That was a demon final sector. That is absolutely superb.
He hooked that final sector up absolutely perfectly. He found all that speed. And I think everyone is positively shocked at that one, including, I suppose, Bono Huis. That's absolutely amazing.
That really is. That was absolutely spot on final sector. That was absolutely fantastic from Morgan Moran there. You cannot complain with anything in that final sector. To find 2/10 as well. And he actually clipped 306 kilometres an hour down that back straight where Bono nearly hit 307. But still, through that final corner, he was so early on the power and just, yeah, 2/10 of a second. That really is fantastic work from Morgan Moran and the ATR management team there.
Well, let's quickly run you down then the order of the top 10, and we had, let's have a look through here. So we got Morgan Moran was quickest, of course, as we saw with that excellent lap time. Bono Huis will again start alongside him for Precision Motorsports. Janko Mikkonen in his first race back from position. Excellent stuff from him to get third place on the grid. Yannick Lapshin in the second ATR car will be there to support Morgan Moran in fourth. Then Peter Burlack, what an effort he put in for fifth place. Ahead of Philip Pushka, so the two kind of World Trophy and World Series drivers there. Staking their claims for World Championship seats in the future. Rasmus Tarley was 7th for GT Omega ahead of John Eric Saxon. And then we had Goga Boldy in 9th. It looks like Rainer Rue in the top 10.
No, we've had Jim Priest is actually disconnected, so we will wait for Jim Priest to actually return, but he's still in the top 10.
Okay, that's good. So we're into warm-up then, 15-minute warm-up session just to get the... this is mainly going to be used for the tyres, obviously to get them bedded in with race fuel and kind of get the strategies set out. And obviously with preparations, of course, then what we're seeing qualifying there, Nick, who do you reckon are going to be the main protagonists in there for the race? I mean, obviously looking for a race win, you can't really look past the battle again between Miranda and Huis, to be honest.
No, you can't really be honest. The Morgan Moran was, honestly, God, that was a fantastic final sector. So Morgan Moran, I think, is the hot favourite just at the moment. But this time around, we have both Precision Motorsport cars right behind, and then Yannick Lapshin. So as we said previously, in terms of the drivers that could be making the shock, it is the second drivers, the Moran and Huis, Jaco Mikkonen and Yannick Lapshin are there. So they could start to play a role as well as Peter Burlack. He's there as well, and it could really start to shake up. But this looks like an absolute direct dogfight between ATR and Precision.
So just keep behind Eros Maskili, and there's a nice little battle going between 3 or 4 cars behind him. Chance of you that is Patrick De Witt, and then we've got just behind him the second of the AT racing cars behind him. Let's have a look. We've got Yannick Lapshin behind him. Then we've got, looks like one of the Netrex Grand Prix cars, and then looks like both the Ash racing cars behind him of Philip Pushka and I'm trying to look through the filter here. Here's the other Ash racing car, and Chasta Pantelis. So that's a nice little battle going on within that lot, just behind there. But just a quick note, and obviously just going back to Jarkko Mikkonen, because of course he's here replacing Mikko Puumalainen, and the reports that we got was apparently that Puumalainen just couldn't get on with the physics in this year's mod. So I mean, in terms of your opinion, Nick, I mean it's been kind of a disappointing start to the season for Puumalainen, and we definitely expect him to be higher up than he has been in the past few races.
Well, yes, you could look at it like that, but also he's got so many other commitments, you know, with the race direction includers. Whoa, 2 spinners went on to 13 there.
Oh!
Not too sure who that was, but I just saw De Witt, and then there was 2 spinners. I think one of them was the ATR.
Yeah, with Lapshin.
Yeah, it's Lapshin, and I think it might have been an AT racing. But yeah, in terms of Mikko Puumalainen, obviously does a fantastic job beyond the racetrack. So probably committed to that a lot, and the speed it will return. He just needs to find a groove that he's happy with, and he'll be back again. But it is a shame, but at the same time we've welcomed back Jarkko Mikkonen, so that's also fantastic.
I think Mikkonen did very much impress people racing for fast and speed, who did it. He put in an excellent effort in Australia, and of course then wasn't present in Malaysia. But obviously with Puma in the way for however long it's going to be, obviously now this is a chance for Mikkelsen to kind of rectify the kind of seasons that he had last year in 2010. He won a couple of races on and off, but really in terms of some cases, looking back at Bono Huis's performance, I mean, compared to Huis, I mean, no disrespect to Jarko Mikkelsen, he never really got that close to Bono Huis in many points in the season, would you? I mean, not sure if you'd agree.
There were times, you know, that looked like he was going to come back, but it just hasn't seemed to pay off at the moment. So in terms of when it may happen further down the line, we will see. I'm just going to take a brief moment because it looks like I've got a few technical issues. So I'll leave you with Scott and Liam just for a moment.
Yep. Okay then, so 10 minutes to go in the warm-up session. Let's quickly go to Liam. We didn't hear anything from him in qualifying. Liam, any news that you've had from the pit lanes to what's going on in terms of strategies?
Not at the moment, yeah, but I just quickly would like to say a big well done there to Peter Burlack. I mean, he did a great job. Everyone's been like singing his praises in Twister to try and actually find that, you know, kind of pace that he did around here. But another quite thing as well that I've picked out is that, you know, it does take two men in the team. While Morgan Moran and Bono Huis are definitely sort of bringing home the big points in first and second and jostling away, it's up to the second drivers like Yannick Lapkin to try and support their first drivers as much as they can. So obviously the higher they finish will aid the constructors, but as you said last season with Bono Huis and his teammate, it wasn't quite the same, and Mikkelsen was a bit too far away, so hopefully the Zijin can try and rectify that, as you said. But it'll be interesting to see who are the second drivers is there to support their first one.
Excellent stuff, thank you, Liam. Looking through the field, obviously we've got just under 10 minutes of warm-up to go then, and currently quickest driver is Rasmus Tali for GT Mega Racing. Of course, as we said, this is a good chance for the drivers to test out the race setups with the fuel, with their race fuel on, and time just to test out how the cars will perform in that opening stint. And let's go pit strategies then, Nick. In terms of pit strategies, when do you expect the first couple of cars to start pitting?
Okay, in terms of strategy, I think everyone's going to be moving to that the soft compound. Obviously, people will stick with the soft compound for the moment. And I think the first stops will happen around about 12:16ish, roughly. Possibly a touch earlier, but I would have thought on a three-stop with the soft tyres and make sure that they are around this circuit, obviously with the sweeping corners. I think it'll be around about 12 to 16 when we see the first stops.
Of course, tyre wear is it's a smooth surface, but obviously with these high-speed corners that these drivers have, it's going to be interesting to see how tyre wear affects these guys here. Obviously, one of the key points is obviously pit stop time and strategy, and obviously how long you spend in the pits, because there are only really a few parts of place you can make. It's not really a circuit. There's a lot of overtaking opportunities. I mean, if you're looking at Rasmus Tali now down to the hairpin, that's one of the main overtaking opportunities with that long back straight. And obviously into turn 1, if you're very ambitious, you can try and pull a pass off. Also, turn 6 is also a race switch corner where you can pull off an overtaking manoeuvre. We've had a few more drivers just pop in whilst we do this. Of course, we've got Masculi out there for Masculi is out at AT Racing, of course, and also we've got Manasakis has jumped in for Go Speed Racing. And also got, as we said, Giuseppe Ranieri stepping in as Giuseppe for David Greco at Matt Court. And Matt Court, of course, the first season adjusting on their own with as a team. Obviously, they've lost their link with Precision Motorsports.
Yeah, in terms of what we have at the moment, it's 35.823 points for Morgan Moran at the top of the field, 36.160, 3 tenths off for Rasmus Tali. Then Reino Room in the RS Evo team, he's on a 36.195, 3 tenths off also. So, yeah, that's a encouraging time there for Reino Room.
Well, it does give us a little bit of an indication as to who's going to do what in terms of the race pace and who looks quick at where. Looking for Morgan Moran set at 135.823, so if that is race pace on race fuel, obviously and Bono Huis only managed a 136.278, so really, as you said, it kind of does vindicate, obviously, your tip from Moran being the favourite to win the race, of course, if that is the kind of race pace that he can pull out.
Well, in terms of the tip, we may as well go for it now. For race victory today, I think Moran has the edge, so I'm going to go with Morgan Moran. So Scott, who do you reckon who's your tip?
Do you know what? It'd be hard to disagree with you, Nick. I'd probably have to go with Morgan Moran as well. Quickly, Liam, who's your tip for race win today? Okay.
I think our pit lane reporter has decided to go and talk to a few drivers and left his post, but he'll improve that shortly.
I think so, yeah.
Oh no, sorry, my mic was on, yes.
No problem.
I would say Morgan Moran, but I can see perhaps someone slightly lower down the field, you know, you guys like Rasmus Tarley and all those guys, maybe even Woodwiss, who's definitely up there. I mean, the thing is with this field, it's so close today, so I couldn't put a safe bet on anyone, but it's looking reasonable for Morgan Moran at the moment.
So 3 for Morgan Moran there, so we're either buying a lot of drinks tonight or nothing at all, I think that would be.
Well, at least it's kind of hypothetical kind of predictions. We're not actually putting actual bets on. Because of course, if we did actually lose, so we probably need a drink to forget rather than a drink to remember. So, but nonetheless, at the moment we actually have both the ATR cars up at the top.
You do say that. Obviously now, also this season, just returning from last season, is the Fantasy League. So you can obviously sign up in the forums. So if you are interested, there is the fantasy season going on again that's been created by the administration. So get involved if you fancy having a bit of a dabble on seeing if you can predict the drivers in top 10, etc. So yeah, head over onto the forums and have a go at the fantasy league for FSR this season.
And also, of course, if you fancy having a drive in one of these World Championship cars or a World Series or a World Trophy car, you can, of course, download the 2012 FSR mod free of charge, and that's, of course, you can go ahead and download that either from formula-simracing.net, or you can download that on the Formula Sim Racing section of the Race Department forums, which you can. Okay then, we've now advanced to the race session, and we're getting ready for 56 laps then of the Shanghai International Circuit, and we'll run you through the entire grid in just a moment. Liam, do you have any last-minute word on any kind of who's looking to do what in terms of strategies, or any kind of last-minute news that you've managed to find out?
Not at the moment, yeah. I'll try and keep you updated as it all comes in. So trying to be talking to as many team bosses as I can, getting all the inside info. But right now, it's always Nick said, pit stops looking in between around laps 10 and 16. So we'll try and keep you updated on who pits in when, and perhaps maybe emergency stops, or obviously some minor damage can incur sort of early pit stops. So I'll try and keep you all updated.
Excellent, thank you very much. And just had to quickly restart the warm-up session very, very briefly there, so we had to just switch the grid around. There was a slight error. But as you heard again there, the cars will now have just about 25 odd seconds to get themselves onto the grid, finalise their strategies, set them in stone, and get them away, and get them onto the grid before we run you down the grid. And quickly update on the track conditions. We've got ambient temperature 26.7 degrees, track temperature 25.5, so it's actually cooler than the actual ambient temperature. So I mean, that probably will have a bit of advantage in terms of keeping the cars nice and cool and keeping them keeping the tyres in good condition. But the drivers on their warm-up lap then, so let's quickly take you through. Let's see, how do you want to do this, Nick? Do you want me to do top field and you do bottom half, or how do you want to do that for you?
No, you run through it yourself. There's one thing I just want to say is obviously with tyre strategy, the tyre strategy play can be quite interesting in these sorts of events where the tyre wear is high. So in terms of an undercut, sometimes it's not actually worth going longer, it's worth pitting earlier. So you may see those guys, as Liam said earlier on, pit slightly earlier, even in lap 12. So in terms of tyre strategy, it will be a little bit interesting come the race. But yeah, run through the field.
Okay then, here's your grid then for the 2012 Formula Sim Racing World Championship Chinese Grand Prix. And it is Morgan Moran with his third pole in a row then for ATR management, alongside him his championship rival Woodwiss. Jarkko Miekkinen, what a return he's had to presume with third place on the grid. Jim Paris, another excellent qualifying session to put himself fourth. Ahead of Yannick Lapshan, fifth in the second ATR machine. Then we've got Peter Burlack, what an effort he put in for sixth place. Twister Racing ahead of Philip Pushka, another debutant here I think for Ash Racing. Rasmus Tarley sits 8th for GT Omega, ahead of John Eric Saxon, 9th Faster Than Speed and Gogo Baldy, 10th for Netrex Grand Prix. 11th is Reino Room just outside the top 10, behind him Blair Disley, the Australian in the Silver Line machine. 13th is Patrick De Witt for Matt Corr Racing, ahead of Dian Kostanov. Row 8 is set with Fabrizio Gobi for 15th in AT Racing, Frederick Nilsson 16th, down there in there. Well, he'd be one to watch to try and come through the field. Giuseppe Ranieri 17th in the second, Matt Corr Racing car replacing David Greco. 18th is Marcel van der Linden for RS Evo World Championship. Rafael Cosi, his first World Championship starts 19th. 20th is Georgios Manasakis. The Go Speed Racing Team 21st is Giuseppe Marconi for fastest speed. The two Dion brothers, Jonathan and Jimmy Dion, are on row number 12, and they're in the RC Evo, RC.France F1 Racing Team cars. And making up the final row of the grid, we've got Peter Varga down there on 25th, and George Chasapantelis for Asus Ash Racing rounds out the 26-car grid. So Morgan Moran is just on the pit straight now. He's getting the last minute warm up in the tyres to try and get the best possible grip as he can off the start. Then, as we said, once they line up on the grid, they want to stack the pack up as best he can before he gets ready for 56 laps of the Chinese Grand Prix. And you see it that you should at the front of the grid. That you should see Morgan Moran on the right on pole, and then Bono Huis on the left. Vision Motorsports in second place. The last few cars coming into position then, just so you can see behind. And remember, the start procedure will obviously be as usual, 5 red lights, and when they go out, we'll be racing here in Shanghai. The tension is building then, and their eyes will be firmly fixed on that starting gantry. And we wait then for the race director then to push the button. Here we go then, waiting for those 5 red lights, and when they go out, we will be racing in Shanghai. We are way here for the Chinese Grand Prix. Equal start by the front row. Look at that, and also we've got... and look at Moran's trying to cover, but Huis is down the inside. Up towards turn 1. Look at Meekin trying to go around the outside of his team, but can't quite do it. And there's contact between Huis and Moran, but Huis has got the inside line. Huis takes the lead of the Chinese Grand Prix, and Priest up to 3rd. What a start from here. He's passed Meekin up the inside of turns 3 and 4. And looking behind, looks like everyone's got away fairly cleanly. And looking through here, someone lost Kostanov's back there as well. But looking through the front, it's also going to be Huis standing inside, but Moran's actually attacking. Tries to get the switch back through turn 6. And up through turns 7 and 8, and Moran is looking very racy already. At least he's breaking away. Moran is going to try and keep the back end of that precision car. And through turns 7 and 8, he stays with him. Into the second sector, Moran is determined to get that lead back, but look behind him. Jim Paresis is staying with them. He's going for the lead too. Look at Jim Paresis, the great driver for Go Speed. Could he possibly cause an upset today? And he starts to get just a bit as down towards the end of the second sector. And looking who else has had a good start. Rafa's ties up. They're going to go bowling up to 7th. Good start from him. Patrick de Wit's up to 8th. And also who's dropped Master Van der Linden's up 6 places from 18th to 12th. Great stuff from him. Both at the front there. Huis is trying to extend his advantage up at the front of the field. And behind us, well, we've got car slipstreaming all over the place, weaving side to side, trying to break the toe. And also look at that. Parisi starts to try and get out of the slipstream of Meekinen. And also look behind as well. We've got their battle between, looks like Lapshin and de Wit, and de Wit is alongside Lapshin out of the final corner, and also Charlie's just behind Goldie as well. He's up to 5th. Gergo Boldy's up to 5th. That's an incredible effort from Gergo Boldy. That's excellent stuff from him. But across the line then, and it's Bono who leads again from Morgan Moran. Jim Parisi sits in 3rd place. Great stuff from him. Meekinen 4th. Baldy 5th ahead of Rasmus Starley, and de Wit and Lapshin side by side through turn 1, and Lapshin's got the outside, but if he sticks it there, he'll have the inside for turn 2. Will he make it stick in the outside? He's been a contact, but no, he doesn't. De Wit cuts him off, and look at that Pushka and Burlak side by side for 10th for 9th place, and they're going out towards turn 6, and also down there as well, down towards turn 6, Lynn is in the pit with some news.
Frederick Nilsson's made an unscheduled stop, I believe. He may have picked up some damage after turn when he's leaving pit lane now, but he's down to 25th position, so his green start's gone from bad to worse.
Excellent for that. Thank you for that, Liam, on that update.
What an absolute dream start that has been for Bono Huis. He was absolutely lighting off line, even with launch control where it was pretty much matched for everyone. Bono Huis' launch off the line was absolutely superb. Slipped up the inside, held it all the way through turn 2 and 3, and now leads. He's got a nearly half-second advantage over Morgan Moran. And Jim Paresis is trying to stick with him. He's starting to suffer just a little bit. 6/10 of gap back now, but and Jackie Mickens got past Rasmus Talley because he fell back a little bit. But Giorgio Boldy, he was past Talley for 5th place, but Talley's got back by him now. But that Netrex car was absolutely flying. Patrick de Wit, obviously, what a start he's had. He's up to 7th. Yannick Latchin, he fell backwards, but he's got Pushka and Burlak all over the back of him. There's such a gaggle of cars behind from Yannick Latchin backwards. Incredible start to this Chinese Grand Prix.
And just look behind. Look at that. Look at Meekinen. Meekinen's got past Paresis on the pit straight. I think Paresis got a poor exit out of the last corner and tries to look up the inside of turn 1, but can't quite make that one stick. So what a move Meekinen did. Jumped on that advantage, and now it's Precision cars 1st and 3rd, and Moran is now the meat in that Precision sandwich. And now this has allowed Tali to close up as well. So Paresis, you made a bit of a mistake there, I think, from up the cars up front. And meanwhile, Huis is still under attack from Moran up front. And he's just right under the rear wing of Woodwiss. He's trying to push the tempo and trying to keep up with him. Meanwhile, there's now a bit of a train forming behind Michelin now, because Michelin's trying to make a break from Parisis. Tarly's are still in 5th. Looking back to the any more position changes here, and Ranieri's had a bit of a. He's just got been passed by. Ranieri's got past Basil van der Linden, so he's up to 12th place now. Looking back through it to see if there's anyone else that's had a good start. Let's have a look. The two Dion brothers are up there. Manasakis has dropped back to 22nd. Bledissy's dropped back to 23rd. He's had a really poor start as well. And Fredrik Nilsson is only just coming through turns 3 and 4. He's back in 23rd. Kostanov back there in 26th as well. So he's in the pits. He lost the front wing. Let's have a look. Maybe Liam, you can have a look at the sport now, Liam.
I'll be on it now.
Yeah, Bledisy went from 11th and just seemed to cascade backwards through the field. But at the moment, Parisis is still trying to get. Well, actually, Parisis is topping out in the toe of Jakob Mikken and can't get close enough. And Rasmus Tally's right there as well, with Gergo Baldi and Patrick just behind. Jan Lachin's still got Pushka, Burlak, Saxon and Ranieri all over the back of Van der Linden's now caught onto the back with Breno Room. Varga's not too far, so they're all quite close together. I think their next gap then comes to Fabrizio Gobbi. He's in 17th, and he's got Marconi behind him with Chatsapantelis, but just further back as well. Colsey for Silverline, 20th. Dion, one of the Dion brothers. Oh, now Bledissy's going for.
Oh no! No! Look at that! Ranieri's hit the back of Van der Linden. Oh wow! That all started when I think that was Manasakis coming out the pits or whatever it was. Kostanov, sorry. Ranieri's without a front wing. And who's trying to get back on? Van der Linden gets going again, but I think also just all stacked up. There was a bit of a battle going into turn 1. Baldi passed, I think it was Van der Linden. And let's have a look at, try to see a replay. Yeah, just Ranieri didn't find the right line and just hit the back of Van der Linden's car. Now, Van der Linden might have rear suspension damage, but of course that'll be a disaster for Ranieri. He's going to have to make it back. Of course, Van der Linden, I think, might be struggling to keep that car going. Looking at him now, he seems to be okay. Where's Ranieri got to? He's struggling around 24. I think, well, that's all suspension damage as well, so he might very well be out of the race. But wow, what drama that was on the second lap there. And also, quickly looking here, we've got Parisis still with Tarly chasing after him, but that was quite an extreme incident now, the first corner.
Yeah, with a wild few laps there, as Jakob Mikken in 3rd place is now dropping back from Morgan Moran. He's 8 tenths, dropped 8 tenths in the past 2 laps, so he's not quite got the pace, but he is trying to close, especially if these two start scrapping. But Morgan Moran is pushing like absolutely crazy, trying to get onto the back of Woodwiss. Woodwiss is driving his line, driving his own race, and it's working at the moment because Morgan Moran is under huge amounts of pressure. And he wheel spun out the final corner, the second to final corner at the hairpin, and he lost a little bit of drive. But Morgan Moran is still all over the rear wing of Woodwiss.
And I look to the field here, back in the top 10, we've got Pushka, Burlak, and also Generate Saxon in there as well. He's dropped out of the top 10, he's down to 11. But he's now just tagging on to the 2 World Championship rookies, if you like, with these 2 then battling hard. And also just having the field. And we've still got that battle for 3rd going on between Mikken, Parisis and Tarly. They're still lying astern for 3rd. And it's kind of, they're all splitting out, but they've got that second gap to each other between a few cars here. Looking back here, we've got Varga and Mascudi battling for 13th out of turn 6 through turn 7 and 8. Varga now just ahead of that, he might have just passed Mascudi possibly. And also Fabrizio Gobbi in the second AT racing car is up there in 15th. Get back to see if there's anyone else that's actually in any kind of remote battles at all. Fredrik Nilsson's kept going. Ranieri's finally made it round to the pits, is in 25th. Kostanov has yet to make it round, but he's a lap down. So yeah, let's quickly go to Liam Jenkins. Do you have any updates on any of the incidents that just happened?
Ranieri's in the pit road at the moment trying to get a new front wing sorted. It's a very slow stop to his chances of a decent result are looking slim to none at the moment. Apart from that, Van der Linden still seems to be okay at the moment out on track, and it looks, I think, like obviously, well, I think it's all pretty much sorted. Apart from that, they all seem to be going quite clean. But so the first really big incident of the day, of course, was the Ranieri Van der Linden incident. So it'll be interesting to see whether Van der Linden stays out or maybe takes the longest stop when he stops the tyres.
We just turn 1 then.
4th place here with Jim Parisis trying to defend on the inside from Rasmus Tally, who tried to sweep around the outside then cut back to the inside for the second part of turns 1 and 2 and still can't do anything about it. But Jakob Mikken has actually now fallen back towards Parisis rather than go forwards, and Parisis and Tally look to capitalise at the moment as Giorgio Baldi has fallen to 1.7 seconds behind Rasmus Tally.
Lead to still paced close together. The gap's now roughly about just under 7/10 of a second. So Moran's not letting Woodwiss get away too far, but he's keeping within his sights.
That's the biggest the gap's been there in a good few laps. So Woodwiss has pulled out a small advantage. So yeah, that's the biggest it's been in a few laps.
And it's interesting that Mika has actually now dropped back. He's holding up third place. And I wonder possibly, probably not intentionally, but of course this does give Woodwiss a bit of an advantage because it just leaves just Moran to contend with. And also there with Yarko in third place, it kind of just helps just stack the field back up behind him. And Parisas now has got a great run, look at that, onto the pit straight. This is where now Mika will have to start testing defensive skills here. Parisas has already looked into the inside. Again, darts back in. I guess you can have another look into turn into the hairpin. You might just do. And yes, he does. Down the inside into the hairpin, but will Mika cover on that one. They will go side by side, but Parisas takes third place. Wonderful move from the Greek driver. Put the Ghost Speed car up a position onto what is at the moment a provisional podium spot. Of course, now, and look at this, Mika's down to attack from Rasmus Tali now. This could be a loss of 2 positions in 3 corners now from Mika then. Behind him is a 4-car train battling for 6th place, with Gerger Boldy at the head of that one. And trailing him is currently Patrick de Witt with Lapchen and Philip Busker in there with Berlak and John X Saxon and Renault Room just hanging on to that one, those 3.
Rasmus Tali is all over the rear. Micklin got a bit of slide on out of turn 3 and 4 as well as he heads down now towards the hairpin at the end of sector 1. We'll go to the inside. Rasmus Tali slides across the front of Micklin. Does he? No. Micklin holds on around the outside. Wonderful defending there from Jakob Micklin. He may have been out for a while, but he has not lost any of his racecraft and held that beautiful line around the outside as defended from Rasmus Tali as Jim Parisas now starts to pull away in that Ghost Speed. That's a fantastic effort from Jim Parisas at the moment. Driving superbly well.
Quickest Liam Jenkins, do you have any news for us?
George Chasplentis, it looked like, was found the barrier, so I'm not sure what's happened there, but he's actually out of the race with a suspension problem, so he hit the barrier, and unfortunately he becomes our first retirement of the day.
Thank you, Liam. It's rather unfortunate for Chasplantelis, but he said first retirement of the race.
Sorry, Scott. Tali's got a run on Micklin as he goes down the back straight now. He's hitting already 306 kilometres an hour as he pulls out the slipstream, but Micklin's got faster straight line outside of the slipstream. Late braking from Tali. Goes so deep into the corner. Now can Micklin get the cut back? No, he can't. Tali's through. Huge wheel spin there though, but he managed to get the traction enough. Rasmus Tali up to 4th place.
Excellent move. It's pretty much a carbon copy what Parisas rather managed a lap ago. And now the question is, I wonder now if Mickelin's now going to fall back to this battle for 5th then. It was a battle for 6th, but now it'll become a battle for 5th if Mickelin falls back from these 2. And of course then this will now leave the final podium spot to be fought over between Tali and Parisas. So I wonder how that's going to work out on those ones. You know, just looking quickly behind obviously what's going on with Mickelin. Obviously now Boldy now has got his foot down, but he's under pressure now from de Witt. Lapchen just keeping him there or thereabouts, but he's got to deal with Pushka behind him. Right, just going through turn 6 there. De Witt is just hanging on to the back of an Netrex Grand Prix car. Through turn 7 and 8, of course you've got to be careful through these corners because you can't really get very close to the fast corners, especially through turns 1 and 2 and through this section they're going through here because you're in the dirty air, so it won't let you get any that close. And De Witt actually had a little bit of a look down. He's turn 9 and 10, but thought better of it to save his front wing. But still, De Witt is out pushing to try and get himself another place higher in the points, and so he's now got Lapchen all over the back of him now, and also Lapchen, of course, as we said, Pushka following him. And you're looking here, actually, look at Mickelin as actually he's now in a little bit of a no man's land now because Tali's extending his advantage over the Precision Motorsports driver, and now look at this.
We've got a nice little run going on here for Yannick Lapchen because Patrick de Witt's actually got the run on Boldy, so this. Top 3 cars all on a line trying to pass each other. De Witt goes to the outside of Boldy in the hairpin. He holds on to it. Now this is going to give the run to Yannick Lapchen coming out of the hairpin as they head towards the front corner, and it stays exactly the same. Whoa, Lapchen way too late. He's just managed to hold the corner, but Pushka's now all over the rear wing of Yannick Lapchen. He can read Lapchen's name on the rear of that ATR car. We know how quick the ATR though is in a straight line. Now Pushka can't do anything. No, he can't even dip back to the inside. So Lapchen just about holds on, but De Witt's all over the rear wing of Boldy as Boldy now also is closing on Mickelin.
A quick update with the gap between Woodwiss and Moran. It's now 1.5 seconds as now they go past the lap. The other Matt Core racing car, Giuseppe Ranieri, of course, in place for David Greco this weekend. So he's obviously was cruising around the outside of turn 6. Of course, he'll have be through there as well. And of course, there's another battle for 3rd game between Tali and Parisas then, with Parisas holding him off. Then again, still Baldy and Divot battling hard, as are Lapshin and Pushka. So nice couple of battles going on into the field, and of course now we've got Burlak now who's just in front of Saxon, Renault Room there. The front 12 kind of in their own little battle, so we've got a little bit of a gap to Peter Varga, who's just ahead of Masuli with Kostanov. No, with Gobi, sorry, that's Kostanov a lap down.
Scott, we may have a battle here in just a moment between Jim Paresis and Rasmus Tally for third place, because Tally's got a hell of a run out of turn 13. He's closing that rear wing. Paresis goes defensive straight away. Goes speed right on the inside of the corner. Drifts towards the middle. Tally's around the outside now. Will he get the cut back? He does. Can he get the back? Oh no, Paresis! He basically stopped coming off the corner. He had to turn the car so much. We've lost Frederick Nilsson of Twister Racing. That's so unfortunate. I hope Liam's up there to find out what happened there, but Nilsson's out this race. Paresis is still holding on.
Just have a look.
He's held on.
I'm looking on the replay, see what happens. Oh, he lost it. He lost it through turn 6 and 7 and went straight across the gravel, and I'm not sure what happened there. He just retired. So I think possibly he inevitably saw that the car was going to go into the barriers and thought he'd better abort, but that's unfortunate. Frederick Nilsson, not good for him. But he's now out, of course, of the Chinese Grand Prix as the race continues. The front gap between the two is now 1.9 seconds between Woodwiss and Moran, so the young Dutch teenager staking his claim to make it being the first driver to win 2 races so far in the season.
Yeah, Woodwiss, I've been watching his times and he's just pulled the pin completely. He's been driving so beautifully well. 2.1 now the gap is. So Woodwiss is really making his tyres work, and Moran is pushing, but yeah, Woodwiss just driving away. It's fantastic, the effort he's put in. 2.3 just going through turn 13 onto the back straight. So yeah, Woodwiss is really pushing that precision car.
Just behind
it. We may have a run again for Rasmus Tally on Jim Paresis as they head underneath the Thrustmaster bridge. In the tow now, he's going to hit 305, 306, 307 kilometres an hour. To the outside though again, so great defensive work from Jim Paresis. Now will he stop it on the apex this time? He does. Tally can't do anything about it.
And Meekin also was closing in there for 5th place. He's found some pace now.
Yeah, he's actually pulled away from Foley. Now I wonder if this is what Precision have done. Precision appear to have built a car towards the end of a stint, and the tyres are now working beautifully well for both cars.
Here goes Ty, then trying to go around the outside of Paresis. He hasn't got the grip, but Paresis holds firm. Look at that, and Paresis, he stops his car on the apex and turns 1 and 2. And Tyler gets pretty close on the curbs as well. This has now allowed Meekin to catch up as well. So once again, it's a 3-way battle for 3rd place. And Paresis is doing everything he can to keep the Estonian right behind him. Of course, now Ty's got to contend with a rather speedy Jarkko Meikkonen. So, oh no, that's going to play out. 3 turn 6, they're still lying stone. 1, 2, 3. You can throw a blanket over these 3. And of course, just behind, no position changes as yet between a few of these cars here. So Boltley still 6th ahead of Patches a bit 7th. Then Lapshin, Pushka, Burlak, Saxon, and Renault Room's dropped off that train of cars. He's in 12th. And looking again, Giulisto entirely again sticking with Paresis 2009 and 10, and just in those fast ones, just about pulling away from Meekin. It's just on the straight. If Meekin stays where he is, then he turns 12 and 30-11. Nice little run possibly to tag onto the slipstream of Ty's car. Onto the back straight they go then, and look at the tag toe that Ty's got now. It's the 3rd time lucky, is it now? Down to towards the turn 14 hairpin, this long 1.2 kilometre back straight. This is the ideal overtaking opportunity, and when we see Paresis go against the inside, he does. And he does again. Ty moves across on the outside, but look at that round the outside. They're side by side. They're squeezing him out. Paresis says, "No, you don't, sunshine. There's still my 3rd place. If you want this position, you have to take it from me the hard way." And of course now Meikkonen again closes in, and I wonder if he can actually get into the toe now of Tali's car. And that trainer, of course, 5th, 6th place is still going on, of course, behind them. Actually, look how close Meekken's actually getting now to Tali, who turns 1 and 2. Very close indeed.
Meikkonen is really starting to make an impression. Paresis seems to have had that early grip, but it's started to go away from him now because Tali is all over him, and Meikkonen's thereabouts as well. Giorgio Boldi has got David, Lapshin, Pushka, Burlak, Saxon, and Varga's not too far back either, so there's a whole group of cars back from Meikkonen. And Boldy heads it.
I just realised we're missing Renault Room. Where's Renault Room got to? Is he in the pits? Let's have a look.
He's just made a pit stop. Not too sure what's up for now, but Renault Room has just made a pit stop. So whether that's either an 8, I think that's definitely an early scheduled stop there. So no damage on the car. Guessing it's a tyre change for the RS Evo driver.
We are on lap 12s. We are expecting cars to start diving in very, very soon, if not now. So we should possibly see, or pit request lights are coming on all over the place now. We've got the front four have all got pit light requests on them, but they've gone off again. So we're on lap 12. We could see some early stops, but it's between now and lap 16 that we will see the early stops. So great work here from Woodwiss at the moment, pulling away from Morgan Moran, still in front of the field. It's up to 2.6 seconds as Woodwiss goes through.
Just up behind. He's done it.
Moran's spun at the final corner.
He has. Morgan Moran spins at the final corner. Murray just misses him. What about the battle for third place? That's going to come second in a second, because Moran gets going again, and what's going to happen behind them? We'll look behind, because Paris and Tarly now literally line astern, and Moran's just about got up to speed again. So Moran, in his efforts to try and push,
he's hit him. Paris has just hit Tarly on the inside.
He's gone.
Tarly was trying to go round the outside of Paris. Paris held the inside line all the way through the corner. They were going so fast through there, and Paris couldn't get it pulled up, and Tarly, he went to the side pod. I don't know what the damage is going to be like for him, but Tarly's now falling back behind Jan Ratchin for P9.
Look at the replay, and that was... Paris just didn't want to give up the inside line. Tarly like as you said, they both went around side by side, and Tarly just didn't want to give up that outside line rather, and just stuck it round, but obviously didn't realise that Paris wasn't going to really give him much room. He's rejoined in 10th, but managed to get it all to do again with Tarly. His first target will be Yannick Latchin, but wow, it's amazing what a couple of corners, how much action it can provide.
Oh, it's incredible. Now, well, Morgan Moran's now falling 10.5 seconds behind Woodwiss, and Jim Paresis is now just under a second from Morgan Moran, but Paresis and Tarly's incident is, well, I'm sure there's going to be some investigation after the race there, because that was not brilliant, but Tarly was committed to that outside line, but Paresis was not prepared to give it up, and just seemed to keep his foot in the throttle for longer than he possibly could, and the car wouldn't stop. So
just quickly, I'm going to jump in, because DeWitt's got past Boldy, and then just behind him, Peter Bellett's got a fantastic run on the back straight towards the hairpin. He switched to the outside, but Boldy's just coming across the current, cover him, and into the hairpin. When you do the switch back, has he got the traction for it? Answer is not quite. He stays there in 7th. Let's see if there's any more cars coming. Oh, look at this, we've got Meekinen and Paris in.
Huis is already in. Huis is already in.
And Moran's
gone.
Well.
Yeah, so small for Moran. And
yep.
his teammate as well, so good stop there by the Precision team.
Yep, leaders are ready, Huis are
all the
already
leaders
away.
coming in there, Paris is in there as well, I believe.
Yeah, they're all in at once.
Yeah,
so
Paris is in, there's also Peter Burlap coming in. Peter Varga also in, Meekinen on his way out just behind Morgan Moran and Paresis, which is vital for Moran and Paresis to get out in front there.
Oh, Paresis got a drive-through. He's sped in pit lane. Paresis got a drive-through penalty. So he's come out behind Moran, but he's got a drive-through.
He has, so he is 11th currently, but he won't be any more after this one. So he'll have about 3 laps to set his drive-through, otherwise he will be disqualified if he doesn't take it. But
dare I say that little bit of karma there after what happened with Tarly?
Possibly. A good coincidence, I think. Or either it's possibly a horrible coincidence, the fact that he's going to have got to have a drive-through penalty for speeding after the incident with Tarly. But you said
that's true, yeah.
It is, yeah. But having a look through here, there's having a look to see what's going on. As to whether these are shaken out in terms of the pit stops where they come out, Woodwiss is currently 6th and tailing the trio of Latchin's actually under attack from Masculi. Look at this.
Wow, that's a hell of a run for the
and look at Gobi as well.
AT Racing against ATR Management. So that's
really
having a fun down to the final corner.
Look at Gobi. Gobi's trying to tag onto the back of Masculi's car. Look at Gobi down the inside of Masculi. Oh, don't do that. Take each other out, boys. Steady on, and
Martin Christensen is having pittance over that.
Yeah,
DeWitt and Boldy here, as does Latchin, as does Masculi, as does Gobi. So Woodwiss will retake the lead.
Yeah, let's go to Liam in the pits. Liam.
Yeah, Rainer Room has apparently got wheel problems today, so may need to retire a bit later on. And Rasmus Tarly is also out apparently. So
let's have a look.
DeWitt stalled.
Maybe
he's got the engine running.
If it does get going,
Patrick Vitt looked like he stalled in pit lane, but he got the engine running again. Meekinen goes through Disley's sucks over the rear wing Disley.
Rainer Room, that was extremely close. They just caught that. Rainer Room almost was tagged on the rear wheel by Drago Boldy as he came out of the pits. That was extremely lucky. Look at that. He's now fed out just between these two. He's split these two cars for battling. And now look at this. Should be interesting to see how the rest of the drivers are shaken out. The drivers who haven't stopped yet. Looks as though Blair Disk hasn't stopped yet. He's up in 6th at the moment. And also so is Rafael Cozzi. So The two Silver Line cars are trying to go on a long strategy here, pick up a couple of points each. So
we've got Van der Linden second as well, so that's the RS Evo team. He's yet to pit as also, like you said, Cozzy's in 4. So Van der Linden and Cozzy will be next ones to come into pit lane.
And John Eric Saxon's done very well to leapfrog through the stops. He's up to 7th already, so that's not bad for that effort from him. In fact, it looks like he's leapfrogged. He's leapfrogged Baldy, he's Pushka, and a bit. That's an excellent, and Lapshin. That's an excellent stuff from John Eric Saxon. He's leapfrogged 4 cars in the stops. That's unbelievable. Look at this. He's got a great one on Blair Disney as well down the back straight. This is 6th place. And Disney, is he going to defend much? The answer is no, not really. Probably because he's going to come in. I'm guessing on this lap. He just lets Saxon breeze past him, and just behind is that was close. I think Saxon just cut right in front of Disney. And Van der Linden is in, and so is Cozzy. And so Disney carries on, and Renault Room carries on as well because he's stopped. Any more cars pitting? You can see. Let's have a look. Not yet. So
what will be interesting as well is, of course, Van der Linden with some contact earlier, so hopefully his stop still was okay, but there could have been a longer one if he'd have picked up any damage.
Okay, excellent. Thank you, Liam. Let's have a look through here. Looking at actually, that's an amazing achievement that either Saxon hasn't pitted yet, or that's an amazing effort from the fast and speed team. He's up to 4th, so I don't know maybe getting up there exactly whether he has pitted or not. I can only presume that he possibly. Well, really, maybe that he possibly hasn't, but maybe that's a bit of a mistake. I'm not quite sure because he's quite high up through the field. He's done a very good job of getting ahead of a few cars. As of course, Blair Disney, of course, but he started quite low down through the field.
He's closing in on Mikkonen, so yeah, he is. He's closing in on Mikkonen, so that must be fresh tyres. I'll be honest with you, I didn't see if he was able to dive in. I'm not too sure if Liam, you're able to help us at all on that one if he has made the stop, but he is closing on Mikkonen.
Yeah, I think he has made his stop actually. I mean, his last lap he did was a 154, so.
And if that's the case, that's the case.
That is raw pace.
That's unbelievable.
That's a fantastic effort. I think through all the chaos, Saxon just started pumping in the laps, and he's now
just behind. Sorry, Nick, we've got a battle. There's Renault Room literally trying to shove the front nose of his RS Evo car underneath the rear wing. Literally just gave it a bit of a bump. As kind of just to give him a bit of a message to get out of the way. His pusher gets raised sideways. Look at the toe, look at that. Disley is now called Baldy and Room. And look at side by side behind, we've got Pushka and De Witt into turn 1. This is for 8th place, and De Witt takes it very easy. Pushka
got that oversteer off the final corner. It allowed De Witt to run into turn 1. There's chaos going on behind Disley though, because Disley is still yet to pick. Whoa, Renault Room from right. That's going to give De Witt a run down to turn 4.
Whoa, that's close. That is cutting it very fine. Look at Pushka around the outside trying to get his place back in. Look at that.
That was Nico Rosberg-esque pushing drivers out. Whoa, he De Witt. That was crazy. It's like watching NASCAR trying to slip in between those two cars there. I'm not too sure how De Witt pulled that off.
And now he's got to contend with, obviously, he's in that kind of catch-22 situation. Look at the pressure that Pushka is really applying to the bit here. Is he going to get a run down? He's trying to shake him off then. As that was a big lock-up for just in front. That's all from Saxon in 4th place, a big lock-up there. Look at these three. Look at a Room with 2 wide deep into turn 11. De Witt's all over him through turn 12 and then through turn 13. What the inside, he's just about leaving enough room to just leave his front wing. And Room immediately goes to the inside. This is defensive from Room. And Pushka tags into the slipstream as well. This is a 3-car tow then. It goes to the outside. Look at it's going to be straight line speed. RS Evo versus Madcore, and what also causing. Look at Pushka's is going to try and make a pass. Vic gets past. Room goes to the inside, and he tries to do the switchback, but he hasn't made it stick. The Vic takes 7.
Stop that! He was so late on the brakes. I'm not too sure how the Vic stopped that. That was incredible. In process, Boulder went past Disley as well.
Let's have a look. Yes, he has. Obviously, Disley's yet to stop, of course, so we've got to watch them too. Interesting enough. Just looking at the front two, the gap has actually come down between Weiss and Morant. It's now come down. It was 8.9 seconds at the last split. It's now not 8 point. It's taken a couple of hundredths of a second out of him. So that Morant is trying to make amends to what happened before, with his spin just before his pit stop. Meanwhile, our troublesome trio of De Witt, Room, and Pushka are still battling. And they've now got Bled to contend with in 6th. So, well, now that's going to shake. And quickly behind him, there's any more battles. Janik Lap running out the top 10, just ahead of Masculi and Paris in 12th. They've got Costello who's a lap down in between them. Looking at Peter Burlack's actually now at the moment in 13th, ahead of Marcel van der Linden. Manasaka's 15th, with Gobi 16th, and Kossi 17th, who's made his pit stop. Vargas down to 19th, so he's not really made that much progress from where he started at the back of the field. But two boys just coasting around in 20th and 21st. Ranieri's down in 22nd and Costa off 23rd, and of course we've had Tarley, Nilsson and Chester Pantelis have also all retired. So, any more battles? Let's have a look. Oh, look at behind. Look at this. There's a 4-car tow. Also, look at this. They're also inside the track of the pit straight. This is ridiculous. With Dead Dizzy there's leading that train of cars, and DeWitt's trying to tag into the slipstream. He's now got it, and I wonder when surely Dizzy has to pit soon. He's on the harder tyre, it looks like. So surely the pit stop will be coming very soon. And will he pit this time? No, he doesn't. He's still going. So they must have stacked that car with fuel pretty high. And now, but DeWitt has a nice little tow down the pit straight. Is he going to be close enough? Possibly. He's getting very close enough. Is he going to try it round the outside? Surely not. And he will.
Already.
Look at this. He's trying to. He's got better grip on those tyres, but this he shoves him out. Oh, and a little bit of a nudge there from DeWitt as well, and that's allowed room to close up through turns 3 and 4. And now trying to get his foot down there, and he just can't stop battling.
Well, that was much cleaner than what we saw previously, but DeWitt was very ambitious, trying to fly around the outside of Disley there. He nearly got it done though. Obviously with much fresher rubber, a lot more grip than what Disley's got. Oh, was that Pushka?
It was Pushka, a bit eager on the throttle out of turn 6 and just about kept it together. But he's not lost too much time, obviously it's out of the slow corner, so I was looking there, look, DeWitt's having a little bit of a look through turns 9 and 10, and this takes a wider line through there, but he actually get there a quicker, a later apex, which lets him have a bit more straight line speed. And lock-ups there in front, it looks like from that was from Saxon and Baldy locking up, that's not too bad. And look at the run that DeWitt will have down the pit straight, and will we see to the inside again? And the answer is not quite. DeWitt's got the inside line now, down the back straight, excuse me. Side by side then, and DeWitt has awesome straight line speed and easily takes him past.
Pushka might have a run on Room, but I think Room was underneath Disley's rear wing enough that he didn't have to do anything about it. DeWitt's gone defensive, but I think we may see Disley going to dive in. Or what?
He might do. Let's have a look. Answer is
no. He carries on.
Oh, and that's a twitch from Disley.
Yeah,
Room got a big run. He's got a big one him down the pit straight. He goes to the outside, but look at that. What a dummy that was. If you can call it that. Room down the inside, then that's an easy seventh place there for Disley. Now, Disley's now going to touch the Pushka. Pushka's going to try it round the outside. No, surely not. Look at Pushka round the outside. Is he going to make it stick? Also, yes, he does. That's a wonderful pass from Philip Pushka. World Series winner from yesterday. What an overtaking. Stuck it round the outside. Balls out and just think, stop this. I'm going to take the position, and so he does. 8th place from Pushka. Wow, what a move that was.
That was absolutely superb there from Pushka. Just absolutely nailed it. Exactly what you need to do. Just he lifted on the throttle and just let the car drift and drift and drift. Obviously, still has the more grip on those front tyres, as Disley is yet to stop, and he made it work beautifully for him. And now Disley's going to come under fire from Yannick Latchin in the second ATR management car.
Oh no, DeWitt's gone wide. Lost the position I just saw it there to Room, and now like Pushka's out the inside. Now DeWitt went very wide through turns 9 and 10. I just saw it out of the corner of my eye, and he's now lost the position now to Room. He's now been released and now can chase after Baldy. And now looking at Pushka's now looking very racy now onto the back straight. And he's probably going to try it now, and let's see. Well, DeWitt goes to the inside slightly, well, Pushka's in the toe, but he might have, but DeWitt might have a run on Room, I think, in front of him. The Sarah plays out.
He's built speeds at he's 313 kilometres an hour. That's incredible in the toe there. As Pushka brake very, very late, as I believe that's Latchin gone by Disley, isn't it?
He has, yeah.
Disley, I think, dive in. No, he doesn't. Carry on.
Now he'll be under attack from Masculi in a second, quickly up at the front. DeWitt's now going to try and pass Room again, up towards the first corner. Will he go to round the outside? And the question is, not quite. No, he's done a switchback, look at that! Room went too deep into turn 1 on the inside, and DeWitt with a fantastic dummy. Well, as he's done it, it's contact, and Room spun it! Pushka goes wide, actually gets to the inside of Pushka, and Room's down to 11th place. Now, I'm sure the stewards have to have a look at that one.
I tell you what, Pushka did so well to avoid that spinning car. He dived to the right-hand side. He's still got great drive from the corner. He's got Latchin all over the back of him, but he's got no damage, and he now can hunt down Patrick DeWitt.
Oh, hold on, no. Is that Meekin? Oh, sorry, my mistake. No, I think Meekin's out. No, he's not. That was no, he's not. Sorry, that's my mistake. I was looking at the replay. Sorry about that. My mistake. Right, he's still going in third place. Sorry about that. But he's actually been closed, I think, on by slightly by John Eric Saxon, and then got Boldy behind him. My mistake. I saw my screen lagged a little bit. I thought it was actually meeting out, but there we go. He's still going.
Saxon has started to close on him, but it's still at 1.5 seconds. John Eric Saxon is starting to make slight inroads with his fastest car on Yapping Nickelen Precision. In terms of the front, after Morgan Rand's unfortunate vendetta off at the final corner, he is currently 9.1 behind Woodwiss, who's just basically stabilised his pace.
Oh, looking back, there's a battle going on for ninth as well as Masculian. I swear to goodness, God, I think Room's just taken 2 cars in one pass. I think he got a run on. Yeah, he got a run on Dizzy, and then also just stuck it up the inside of Masculia as well. Great stuff from him. I think also finally Disney pits. So Liam, let's get you in the pits. Have you got any news for us?
Yes, looking like Disney's making a really late stop. He's currently P14, so it'll be interesting to see where he comes out and whether he's going to go for a 2-stop or a 3-stop. That's very late to pit for a 3-stop strategy.
Excellent, thank you,
quite long.
Liam.
He's even his pit box now. And where's he going to come out? He's going to come out just behind Giuseppe Marconi. So yeah, it's a P19 there Disney at the moment.
Just quickly look, thank you for that, Liam. Just looking at that, Morad Vrel, a lot of trouble trying to get past one of the RC France cars there. That was, I think, the lower 2. That was actually, let's have a look. It was Jonathan Dion he was trying to get past there, but he had a bit of trouble trying to get through. I think Morad swerved into him slightly just to show him what he thought of it. Meanwhile, Jonathan's brother Jimmy has just been lapped by the race leader Woodwiss. And see if there's any more battles going on, and that's Ranieri just being lapped by Van der Linden, so that's not too much.
One battle that may develop is Giorgio Boldy has started to catch John Saxon. It's down to 1.7 seconds, so Boldy could start to trouble Saxon and Nickelen very soon. That's another attempt he's taken out of Saxon there, so Boldy's on the lead in the net wrecks.
And also look who's stopping up through the field in 11th, Jim Parisis. He's now on the back of Masculi. He's past Peter Burlack, and now he's been charging up through the field. And Parisis now on the back of Masculi. He's got a fantastic run out the last corner. This is for 10th place then. Parisis then, look at that, Room sweeps to the outside to cover his line. And Parisis up the inside of Masculi, but has a look, but can't quite do it yet. Or can he? Sticks his nose up the inside, forces Masculi, and bang, bang of wheels. And Masculi will have the inside line, but he's going to keep it. No! Parisis goes round the outside of turn 3 and turn 4, and he's letting it stick. Great stuff with Jim Parisis. He's now his next target will be Renault Room. Masculi's not finished though. Parisis goes defensive, Masculi goes round the outside. And he can't quite make that one, so they try to do the switch, but he's got the traction. And can he do it? They're going side by side through turn 6, 7 and 8, and there's 4-wheel banging. And Masculi round the outside. No, he's gone wide, and there's 4-wheel banging. Look at Costa not trying to unlap himself. What's he doing? That's unbelievable. And then comes Parisis.
I tell you what, Jim Parisis loves his inside line because he will not give it up to anyone. He's a couple of nudges on Masculi in turn 1 and 2 though, which is a little bit ordinary, and then he's done it again through turn 6, so he needs to go, oh hello, Costa did not go on the inside of Masculi there for an unlapping position.
Absolutely, he's not even racing for a position, he's trying to unlap himself, but credit to Kostadinov, but really that's not his battle to be getting into. Let's have a look here, see if we've got any more lines. Oh, hold on a minute. Oh, I think Lapshin might have a run on Pushka there for 7th. Pushka, look, he's a dummy! Look at that Lapshin! Almost a dummy there, because Pushka moves, he kind of swiped to the inside and then back to the outside, and Lapshin just thought, okay, I'll take up the inside, but didn't quite make that one stick. He did have his nose up the inside for a second, but didn't quite pull it off, so we'll see how this runs out into turn 1. A bit puzzled to why Pushka did that, to be honest, but trying to throw Lapshin off, but all I did was open up the inside for Lapshin to try and have a look, and again he's getting very close to the rear wing of that Ash Racing car.
Just one point I've noticed once again in terms of how we go later and later into a stint, but Woodwiss pulled up to about 10 seconds now, so the precision car seems to turn its tyres on later in the stint and have more consistency, whereas Morgan Rand just lights up the timing screens at the start of the stint, but can't seem to hold that pace just towards the end, and it's where Woodwiss is able to maintain that gap, and I think Bono is now driving well within himself.
He is indeed, and looking through the field, just look at the gap between Lincoln and John Eric Saxon for 3rd. Just have a quick look at the live time for the past couple of lap times to see how they've been doing. So if we looked at Mikkänen's lap times then, his last three lap times it's been quite consistent, 136.7, 136.5. Last lap was 136.6. We compare that to John Eric Saxon's. His has been a little bit fractured slow. He did a 136.63, then a 136.600, then a 136.8. So I think really Mikkänen's had enough to kind of hold the gap for third place, but Saxon's got to try and find a bit more, a couple of tenths a lap from the tyres that he's got, in order to try and close in and give himself a chance to give himself a podium place this afternoon in China.
Yeah, he's sustained quite well, to be honest. I think the gap between Mikkänen, Saxon and Boldy, they've all sustained very, very well. Boldy's now actually just dropped further back from Saxon to 2 seconds. Mikkänen is still, again, slightly carried by John Eric Saxon, 1.7 seconds behind, but yeah, they've just been able to sustain those gaps with De Vit 5.7 behind JJ Boldy. We're still Pushka, Lachin, Roon, Paresis, and Mascui's not even that far back either.
Bit of a lock up from one of the RC France cars ahead. I think that's the tricky thing is with the driver indicator. You've got
Manazakis has just spun from 5th deep, but he's got it going again. He didn't hit the barrier out of turn 2. Kozzy's just gone by, and Gobby though. So that's unfortunate for Manazakis there.
And also Peter Vargas just behind as well, so you'll have to watch out for him as well. The second NetRX Grand Prix car. And it's unusual because I probably would have expected Vargas to be a little bit higher up, because remember the two NetRX cars ran very well in the lower half of the top 10 in Australia.
Whoa, sorry, this is crazy. Lachin and De Vit going side by side through 12 into 13, and Pushka's now all over the rear wing of Patrick De Vit. Lachin 6, De Vit 7,
look at this.
Pushka 8. And they're all going to go defensive straight away, but this is, Lachin goes defensive, De Vit's just going to try and drive. That's pure horsepower, it's pure straight line speed, he's got there in terms of lower wing. He's going to brake as late as he possibly can. Back up the inside though goes Yannick Lachin. The drive goes to De Vit. Now where is Pushka? He's just waiting. He's waiting for these two to carry on battling. But can Pushka get a drive to the final corner on Lachin coming down the start straight? He can. He is in the tow. Can he dive in the inside turn 1? I don't think he's going to be close enough. No, he's not, because Lachin's got De Vit's tow as well. But these three are just so close together, and they keep battling. Rainer Room's going to be on them again as well. And Jim Paresis is thereabouts again as well, so he'll be on for his defending the inside line at some point.
And remember, obviously they can't really get that close to each other between the first few corners, because of the dirty air and the aerodynamic grip. You lose the aerodynamic grip through that first couple of corners, so obviously the high-speed corners, you can't really use any slipstream, because there is none really, because the dirty air that's being produced by the car in front. So really that gap between the three is kind of been a little bit static, especially through here. You can't really, you get caught up in the dirty air, and you obviously lose front end grip, and you just lose any kind of proper aerodynamics through there. But a bit, again, looking a little bit snaky through turns 9 and 10. But Lachin is still sticking with it. Remember, this is for 6th place, and just behind you've got Rainer Room, just Jim Paresis just tagging onto the back of him. Just looking through here to see if anyone else has coming through a minute. Stop. Liam's in the pits of the story for us. Liam.
Yeah, just quickly an update on what happened to Rasmus Tarley. It was during the pit stop window, and he was side by side with someone during the pit lane, and it caused him to actually spin out and retire the race. So, bit of an unfortunate retirement there for Rasmus Tarley. He was looking quite good.
Absolutely, thank you for that, Liam. Very unfortunate for Rasmus Tarley, looking good for a decent points finish, or at least in contention for a podium battle with Jim Paresis.
Liam, come towards you. John Eric Saxon's in pit lane.
What happens here then? It should be just a normal scheduled stop. It's going to be interesting to see where he comes out. We saw yesterday in the World Series how much of a factor traffic proved to be, so hopefully Saxon comes out in clean air.
You've got Rainer Room coming towards you as well, Liam.
So Saxon's still in the pits at the moment, on his way out now as he just behind Rainer Room comes in, so John Eric Saxon's going to come out, P12 as it looks like, Fabrizio Gobbi goes past. So yeah, Saxon's in P13, he's just behind Fabrizio Gobbi there, hopefully. There shouldn't be too much of a battle there. You see Kozzy goes past there in 14th place, and just behind. So Rainer Room leaves the pits just in front of Red.
He's got to drive through though. He's got to drive through penalty. I think he sped the entry. And is he pulling off?
He's pulling off.
He's pulled off. He's retired the car
at the moment. Is he giving up? Yeah. Well, we did say that he had some wheel problems as well, and that could lead to a premature retirement. So it could be that. I'll try and get an update for you for definite confirmation.
Just quickly as well. Jonathan Dion's car is on the side of the track just before the final corner without a front wing or a left front wheel. So he's out from 22nd. I think the car's still sat there, just on the. I'm not trying to see exactly where that is. That is round down at the hairpin, down just before the final corner. And the engine's not running, so he's actually out of this race as Jonathan Dion.
Oh, Moran did, but he's run on at the entry to pit lane. Sorry, Moran's just coming to pit lane, but he ran on. He did similar to what Lewis Hamilton did. Went into the gravel trap. So down to you, Liam.
Yeah, so let's try and monitor this stop then. Hopefully he has no extra damage to the car. He didn't make contact with anything, but this is going to be such a vital stop now for Morgan Moran. You see he's pulled into his pit box there.
You've also got De Witt, Pushka and Paris also heading away, Liam.
Right, this is going to be very interesting to watch, and look at that, that's Morgan Moran coming out just behind his teammate Yannick Lapchin, so he couldn't have asked for a better start there. But let's watch these trio then. De Witt, as you said, coming in, the last man right at the end of the pit lane. This is going to be very interesting to see who comes out where. Philip Pushka, I think, was the first man to hit his box. Indeed he was. He comes out, then Jim Paris comes out, and look at that, just in front, Patrick De Witt still holds his position. And how vital is that going to be?
Also as well, look, you've got Peter Varga in the pits as well from, I think it's possibly 14th or 15th to be in place as well.
Saxon's all over the back of Gobby as well, as there's a battle developing in front between Van der Linden and Burlack as well, but Saxon's obviously on those new tyres, and he's all over the rear wing for Fabrizio Gobby, as we've lost Giuseppe Ranieri also now, unfortunately. So that's the next one's going to be occurring, but I think we may have Van der Wies coming into pit lane in a moment's time. He's driving towards now, and yes. So Liam, we've got race leader Van der Wies heading towards you, and he does make it through pit entry.
Let's monitor this, and it needs to be a speedy stop by the Precision team to try and make sure that they make a gain. Of course, Moran messed up his pit stop, so hopefully Precision don't make the same error, and Bonnet will leave the pit lane with a smile on his face. He's still currently in the lead. He's leaving the pit lane now then, and look who's currently second, Jaakko Mikkonen. He's in the pits as well.
And Gregor Boldy as well.
So Huis leads, and he still comes out in the lead of the race at the moment. Jaakko Mikkonen second in. Boldy's coming in, as you said, from third place. And
Jack's heading your way as well, Liam.
Yeah, so the other ATR driver coming in is Jaakko Mikkonen, leaves his pit box. So it looked like a good stop there by the position. Hopefully we don't see another speeding light appear. And Boldy leads. So that just behind now, it's all, you know, there's a twister there, and that's Peter Burlack making his stop in P10 at the moment. So all scheduled stops at the moment. Luckily there's no controversy here, as opposed to the first pit stop window.
Saxon is still all over the back of Gobby as well. He couldn't get by him in the final part of the lap, and he's starting the lap now, going to the first sector. He's still behind him. He can actually see Mikkonen now. But he's stuck behind Gobby. He cannot make these new tyres work at the moment. This is horrible for his strategy. He needs to get by Fabrizio Gobby.
Gobby with a lot of wheel spin out of turn 6 then. Saxon's going to get caught in that dirty air we talked about a moment ago. He'll be burning up those tyres in that dirty air. He's not going to get the grip he wants. All the while, this is going to let Mikkonen extend his advantage. He's currently in 4th place. He's only just ahead. He's just behind rather of Marcel van der Linden, who's yet to stop. Looking ahead, the gap at the moment is now between the two leaders after the pit stops. It's now 10.3 seconds, but of course now Huis will come around the final corner. And we'll have a look and see exactly what the gap is.
I think it's about 10 seconds, sorry, 10.7 seconds. So I think Morgan Moran running on in the entry to pit lane lost him about 7 to 8 tenths of a second. So it's not too bad, but he definitely ran on. It compromised his entry.
Looking behind.
Just seen Kostadinov dive off into pit lane. So it's Fabrizio Gobby. So now that releases Saxon, but I think the damage has already been done because of the 2 laps where he had the fresh rubber, the fresh tyres, where he really wants to make inroads into Jaakko Mikkonen. Jaakko Mikkonen now has 2 laps fresher tyres and no traffic in front of him, and is able to pull that gap to what it was. It was at 1.7 before pit entry. It's now at 2.5. That has been horrible for Saxon. Stuck behind Fabrizio Gobby. But Baldy's closed up because obviously he's had a clear run. So he's only 8 tenths behind John-Eric Saxon. Fantastic job there from the Netrex boys.
Of course, we've got to wait for Marcel van der Linden to make his pit stop, because of course essentially Mikkonen sits in a net 3rd place at the moment. Of course now this will be a separate vector. This is a net battle for 4th between Saxon and Baldy. And look at De Witt and Lapchin. Lapchin a bit of a run through turn 6 and had to quickly back out to save his front wing. But De Witt then still staying out of Lapchin. Actually, Lapchin had a little bit of a run down the back straight as well the previous lap. So I wonder, Lapton is looking very racy on these tyres really, and Pushka's actually dropped back a little bit from these two. But he's got past ahead of Paris though. That should be quite interesting to see how that one works out. Gobi's rejoined in 14th, so he's just ahead of Malasakis, and with Peter Varga just chasing him in 16th. Looking here, we've got 20 cars running then. Last of those is Dina Kostelanov in the sole GT Mega Racing car still running. And that's quite a shame to see the likes of Rasmus Tarley and Nilsson look at De Witt and Lapton.
Van der Linden's given up third place.
Oh, Lapton's got past De Witt. What a fantastic move that was. But De Witt has stuck onto the rear. Look at that. He's going to look at the inside of the last corner. Not quite thought about it, but thought about it, and then gets a big twitch out of the last corner. But he'll have a turn into turn 1. And of course now Pushka and Paris will now watch on. See if they can capitalise at all on the battle between these two. And De Witt tries to use his new tyre to go round the outside. Lapton covers the inside nicely as he turns 1 and 2. But again, he turns 3. But a puff of smoke from De Witt then. He locks the inside front. And then up towards turns 5 and 6. Flat out through that kink and then hard on the brakes then down towards turn 6. And that's a corner where you're going from up to 175 to just 55 miles an hour under heavy braking. Go quite deep on the brakes that corner. Through 7 and 8, lots of lateral loads on the car through there. And through turns 9 and 10, a very quick 9 and 10 double left-hander section. Good traction out of 10 to get herself a nice run. He's into the second sector, and Lapton pulling a tiny bit of a gap then towards De Witt. He's not just getting away too far. Then Pushka and Paris just laying waiting there. Mascudi then is obviously up to 10. Ahead of Peter Burlak just. And then Diz is up to 12 after his long first stint. Ahead of Marcel van der Linden. Gobi 14th, of course. And looking up
we've
here,
got a battle coming on for 4th place now between Baldy and Saxon, because Saxon actually run wide slightly on the curb on the exit of turn 13. It compromised his straight line speed down the back straight, and it allowed Giorgio Baldi to close in on him, and he's now only 3/10 behind John Eric Saxon. So this is going to be Netrux versus Fastest Speed, and at the moment looks like Giorgio Baldi has the quicker car, because he is closing in significantly, and obviously Saxon made that slight error, but we'll have to see if Baldi can get a run out of 12 onto 13 to see if he can make a pass down the back straight again.
getting closer deep on the brakes to turn 6. Bit of a lockout from Saxon to turn 6 though. But a nice clean exit for both of them. And meanwhile, just behind Lapton De Witt are still battling away. Lapton just about holding off De Witt. And Paris is closed up on the braking and behind Pushka. So a couple of nice little battles could be possibly brewing between a few of the cars behind the top three. I think Miken's got a nice little advantage, about 3 or 4 seconds over Saxon, but of course Saxon really, his immediate concern is going to be hard-charging Hungarian behind him. Through turns 12 and 13, there you go.
Saxon's got a good run that time. I don't know if Baldy at 4/10 back's going to be able to make the difference up down the back straight, as we've lost Kostadinov unfortunately. He is closing. But closing quite fast, about 314 kilometers an hour. This is going to be a late braking move to the outside. Saxon defended the middle part of the track. Let Baldy decide where he wants to go. Baldy's now on the outside, heading towards the final corner on Saxon. We've dug inside the final corner. No, that's Jimmy Dion, I think, just pitted there. And Baldy couldn't get it done, unfortunately. But it looks like you need about 3/10 coming out of 13 to get a good run down the back straight to make a real opportunistic move. 4/10 if you've got a good aero grip.
I just whilst off camera, so I wanted to disrupt it, but I'll let you finish. But we had both 2 position changes. Lapton's got past De Witt for 6, and Paris has got past Pushka for 8. 2 passes. Paris actually a nice run. Just look at the replay. Nice run down the inside of Pushka after a toe on the back straight. So that's good stuff from him. So 2 position changes. Just got to wait for one more. Possibly could be happening between Baldy and Saxon. And Baldy getting very close behind Saxon's rear wing through turn 6, but he gets on the brakes just in time. And again, Baldy's going to have to really try and stick in that dirty air behind Saxon's Fastest Speed car. What a wonderful run it is from both these cars, actually, for Netrex and for Fastest Speed to have both their cars up there in the top 5. Of course, with Precision and the sole ATR car, Morgan. Well, there's 2 still in there, but obviously there's only with Morand up there, the only ATR car in the top 5. But we've still got Lapton in 6th, so obviously it's only going to be one mistake from these 2. to put both ATR cars in the top 5, but of course that has to be quite a major mistake for one of the two cars to spin. Not that we want that to happen, but of course anything can happen in Formula Sim racing, as we've seen time and time again. And just looking here, what just happened? Let's a quick go on board with Boldy. He's getting, you know, he's not in the slipstream that close off this time. He's there actually close on the braking and tight line through there. Wonderful run through the hair from Boldy. Oh, big twitch though. A lot of wheel spin through there, and through the final corner they come. Bit of a lock up to Saxon ahead of him. I'm quickly just on board with Boldy then. Down the front straight they come. He's getting closer, but not close enough to pass, I don't think, unless he can really hold it and close the gap. Saxon misses the apex for turn 2, does he? He went wide through the middle of turns 1 and 2, and again misses the apex for turn 3, and he flips the apex nicely for turn 4, so using a nice lot of the track as he should do. And let's one here, see what's happened. And and Boldy and Sax again getting very close through turn 6 again. Not much has changed between those two over a lap.
I think we're heading to that point where it's a slight malaise in the race, other than what we have between Boldy and Saxon, because Micken's 3.4 seconds further down the road, 12 seconds further down the road than his normal man in second place, and he's now 11.2 behind Woodwiss. So Woodwiss has put a couple of good laps, and he's now the gap is now 11.2 seconds. As Boldy is still trying to make a move on the back of Saxon, and he is close. Now, can he get the run clean enough out of 13 and get into the tow early enough? It's 4 tenths as soon as they exited 13. So we've always seen the straight line speed of this Netrex car closing on the faster than speed. Saxon's gone to the middle part of the track again to defend. 313 kilometres an hour, hits the anchors. Will he sweep around the outside? No. Saxon parks on the apex. Can Boldy get back up the outside? No. So this is great defensive work from John Eric Saxon here. He really is taking his lines very, very well and making the other driver make the move on which side to go. So John Eric Saxon is defending beautifully from Boldy. He's closing on him going into turn 1 though. Late lunge? No. Boldy intelligently thinks better of it and makes sure that there's no contact between them, and wisely decides to pull out of that manoeuvre.
Look at the rear wing from John Eric Saxon's car. Boldy got another twitch out of turn 4, just noticed there from the rear wing of John Eric Saxon's car. Just looking back then at that, the menacing Netrex, that chrome, silver and black Netrex Grand Prix car. Well, what a feisty Hungarian at the wheel of that one. Through turn 7 and 8 they go. And Lapsch has actually pulled it, now starting to steadily pull away from De Witt in 6th. And likewise with Paris, he's actually managed to pull a bit of quite a gap to Pushka now. So those also looks like De Witt and Pushka not really enjoying the tyres on this second stint. And Masculi just about holding the top 10, so he's got a couple of seconds advantage on Burlak. Just having a quick look up at the front. And Paris then coming around to start lap 36. But imagine looking at the strategy, it looks like it will be a 3-stop strategy, but for the majority of the front runners. I looking quickly again to the battle for 4th, and Saxon again, he's in the middle of the track then, anticipating an attack from Boldy. But he's not close enough to make an attack on this time around. But again, Boldy closes on the brakes, and just can't really seem to get the power down on the slower corners. So maybe, I don't know, possibly. I mean, do you reckon, Nick, possibly that he's just overusing his tyres trying to get past Saxon in this stint?
Yes, he may be overusing them slightly, because obviously he's trying to get by Saxon as much as he can. I think he's anticipating, I don't think he's anticipating being quite this high up, and he's trying to stick with Saxon's pace, and he's just finding where the grip is and where the grip isn't. He's doing a fantastic job though, now coming out of turn 3 through 4, which is more like a kink more than anything. And again, that network still looks like it has good positive drive, and Saxon don't need to defend into turn 6. But yeah, very positive. Oh, there we go. There's that twitch again from Boldy. So he's trying to get on the power, and those tyres are really starting to hurt him, I think, a little bit now. We are approaching that next window, which is around 40 to 44. We're on 36 at the moment, so 4 to 5 laps, I would have thought, before we see the next few stops. But Boldy certainly made inroads into Saxon in this stint, when Saxon obviously fell backwards behind Fabrizio Gobbi when he came out of his pit stop. And that in turn has dropped him from 1.7 behind Jaakko Mäkinen to 4 seconds behind Jaakko Mäkinen.
Well, Sachs still pressed over in fourth, Baldy behind him. Liam, in the pit lane, do you have any news for us at all?
Not at the moment. It's all quite quiet on the western front. I mean, obviously we're getting quite close to the third stoppers now, or perhaps the two stoppers who are going to try and risk it all and stay out in the chance to gain extra positions. But right now it's all looking quite quiet.
Excellent, thank you for that, Liam. And still Saxon still looking very, very close. And again, Baldy now has got a nice little run then down the pitch. Is he going to be close enough, I wonder, to have a look at the second one again? I'm guessing the answer will be no, and indeed it is no. He's not that close enough, but again, he does close slightly under braking. It's a slightly tighter line than Saxon does. And just looking here, Saxon making sure to keep that car tight to the inside line, so he's going to hold on to that fourth place just for now. But of course, Baldy is going to do everything he can to snatch that fourth place and get one place higher up for that Netrex Grand Prix team. But again, fast speed, they can grab a fourth place here. I think you'd agree it would mean so much to them after what was a torrid 2011.
I think both of them, for fast speed and Netrex, whoever gets that fourth place will just be like celebrating a win. That'd be just absolutely fantastic for both teams. If they're able to pull off what they've got at the moment. I mean, they've got a 6.1 second advantage over the car, the second ATR car, who is arguably they've got one of the quickest packages at the moment in terms of driver and setup with Morgan Moran, and the Netrex and Fast and Speed are keeping the second car further on behind. Yeah, so it's very, very encouraging. We just lost a car there.
I'm not quite sure. Let's have a look.
No, Laction's still there. So I thought we lost Yang Laction for a moment. Then he just seems to disappear off the timing screens.
Okay, apparently it's a bug. It's a timing bug. So uniform. Everything's good. He actually can still like Yang Laction ahead of Patrick DeVitt, and actually Jim Parisis has been slowly but steadily. He's actually caught onto the back of Patrick DeVitt now. So this could be quite interesting to see how these two battle it out for 7th as they make it through the final corner, of course. DeVitt, of course, in the blue Matcore racing car, and Parisis in the red and black Ghostby racing car with a yellow helmet. And also, as quickly we mentioned, of course, that Matcore, of course, is no longer associated with Precision. They are their own team, and I think overall they've not done too bad actually as a team on their own. They've got themselves a 4th place in Australia with David Greco, and they've got themselves some decent points. So I reckon things are looking up for Matcore for the rest of the season as a team on their own.
Yes, I think it's a little bit difficult for them at the moment because I think they had a few disagreements with David Greco, and I don't think. I think that's one of the reasons why Greco isn't here. I think there could have been a potential disagreement in the team. So, in terms of drivers, we will wait to see. But in terms of going themselves as an outright team, great job at the moment. Can't really fault what they've done, and they are making progress all the time. And DeVitt obviously currently sitting in 7th.
And overall, not a bad day for the AT management team as a whole, because they've got obviously with Moran in 2nd. They've also got, as we said, Lapshin in 6th, and also in 10th place. Is doing very well. Eros Masciuli, the French, the Italian. Belt. What was it? I'm trying to get the car here. I think possibly. No, he's driving Stefan Stoffel Van Dorn's car. So I wonder why he had the Belgian flag in his car, but it's Stoffel Van Dorn's car. That's the reason why. So, but yeah, Masciuli doing very well. The Italian in 10th, so that's not too bad from their effort. And also just behind him, still soldiering on, is a Peter Burlack in 11th for Twister Racing. To be honest, I think you probably might be able to agree. Twister have had a very tough weekend so far. Of course, Burlack won the World Trophy race for Twister, but in terms of a World Championship weekend, they've had a very tough and testing weekend here in China.
Yeah, it seems Nelson's had a few, Frederick Nelson that is, unfortunately he's just had a few issues that he's not been able to sort out in compared to the first 2 races where he just seemed to, you know, he third best in both races really. Very, very good driver, and they just don't seem to have been able to get the setup quite right for China. Even though Peter won the World Trade Race, it doesn't seem to have translated into the World Championship, and obviously Frederick Nelson's out, so yeah, a difficult weekend for Twister Race. I'm sure they'll go back review and come back again fighting at the next race, which is, what did I say before, Monaco, isn't it now?
I think it's Valencia.
I think they've switched. I think this is the switch that FSR were on about with their calendar. I've not got the full details on it, but I believe they switched it to be more along the F1 dates, etc. So I believe the next one will be Monaco.
I'll very quickly check that. There's a little bit of stack on the race. Let's have a look, and it is actually well, from what I can see, on the actual FSR website, which is formula-simracing.net, to say round 5 is going to be Valencia, then we're going to Monaco for round 6, and then we go to Canada, and then round 8 is going to be a new venue for Formula Sim Racing, because they're going east, and we're heading off to the Yongnam circuit in Korea for the first time. So it'll be a new experience for FSR. Yeah,
I'm not entirely sure the full details behind it, but I believe there was going to be a switch, and Monaco will be next, but I will get full... actually, Liam might be able to find if we get full confirmation on that. Liam, at all, if it is Monaco next at all?
It's Valencia next and then Monaco after that.
It is, okay.
And just a quick update on Giuseppe Ranieri replacing David Greco, because Greco has some family obligations. So apart from that, it's all good, like, team-wise, and it's all plain sailing.
Just looking there, Sackman was followed behind him, got body, just lit up the rear tyres behind him at the end of exit of turn 6. Like he's pulling a burnout rather than trying to get the grip down, but he's right behind on the rear wing of Saxon's car, but still, Bolly pushing hard to try and get past. And of course, we are coming, as you said, Nick, to the end of that second stint, so to the end of that third stint, come up to the third stop. So of course, really, Baldy will, if he can just stick with Saxon here, and just keep to his rear wing when it comes to the pit stops, so he can maybe either try and do the undercut or try and do one more lap depending on how his tyres feel. Of course, really, he'll be in a good position to try and possibly snatch 4th place from the fast and speed driver.
Yeah, I think that's going to be close up in the next round of pit stops, to be honest. It's between these two and where they come out. If they come in together, or if they split splits what they have decided to do. But we have started lap 41. So we are into that territory between 40 and 44 of the final round of pit stops, which is getting ever closer to see when they decide to dive into pit lane and make those final stops, and to see if Boldy can make any sort of impression on Saxon.
Also, just as we were talking, the other RC France car of Jimmy Dion has retired, unfortunately. Also, maybe Link can give us a bit of an update on that later on if he can find out the reason why. We saw Jonathan Dion retired after spinning and crashing the car out just before the end of the lap, just before the end of the last corner. So that's unfortunately, a very, very tough day for both RC Evo and for GT Omega Racing, as well as RC France as well, with both their cars out each in that team. Looking down the field through here, and I mean, Miranda's now on back. Reese is now on the back straight. He's now possibly going to come and lap Giuseppe Marconi in the other fastness car. He's had a very difficult day today, has Marconi. But let's see what Moran does then on this time around. He'll come round the hairpin, and let's see if he answer the question that will he pit. Answer is no, he doesn't yet. But what about Moran? He did pit in a couple of laps earlier. As Marconi's in the pit at the moment. Miranda's there coming around the hairpin, and the tyres a little bit through there. Now let's see if he dives into the pits. Answer is yes, he does.
Yeah.
Liam, Morgan Moran, second place, heading your way.
Yeah, so Moran, bit of a jersey comes in. Hopefully, well, careful not to speed. We've seen a couple drivers actually pick up some speeding issues today. So Moran does well to avoid any of that. Of course, messing up the first stop, hits his box.
Even bigger one, John X Saxon in from 4th as well. Boldy's carried on, so Saxon in from 4th place, Liam.
Yeah, Boldy was all the rear wing of Saxon going into that final corner as well, so he got even closer before the stop. Question is now, can Saxon capitalise?
Morgan Moran comes out and he's just ahead of, once again, his teammate Yannick Lapchin. So again, that's worked out quite well for ACR. Hopefully Lapchin doesn't try anything too adventurous. Back in the pit is John X. Saxon's leaving, currently P9. Where's he going to feed out? Near engine's roaring in the background.
That's P10.
Goes briefly, as Marcel van der Linden.
That's going to be interesting. That's going to be interesting when Boldy pits in, because now Saxon's going to be held up again by another one, by someone else coming out on slower tyres.
Pushka's coming out as well. P15, and as doesn't have any problems with traffic. Cosy, we haven't really spoke much about him today. He's inconsistently down his first race for Silverline.
Looking then.
Had an incident.
Woodwiss, I think, is going to be diving. He is. Yeah, race leader Woodwiss into pit lane.
Yeah, so let's watch this stop there, and it's so important now for Woodwiss to get this right. And he hits the pit marker. So this is it then, this could make or break your race. A good stop here is exactly what's needed. He hits his pit spot perfectly. I think he's going to come out pretty safely. All sweet dreams there for Precision Motorsports. They're looking to make it 2 in a row. Walking around there after 3 positions, but right now it's the race wins a matter of Bono. Crease on track at the moment as he leaves pit lane, and he doesn't come out of traffic. Yakamikinen enters pit lane now for position.
And Gogo Boldy as well from 3rd place. This could be tight.
So Boldy, and he shouldn't really have too much trouble there. I think his pit box is about halfway down.
Lapshin's in as well for you as well, Liam. And Jim Parisis and Eros Masculi, so they're all coming in, and Peter Burlak. So they're all heading in for their final stops, Liam.
So it's all going to be quite heated down at the moment. The pressure is on for the most of the teams. You see Masculi trying to find his pit box down pit road. Sale was passed.
Boldy's got him. He has.
He has.
He's got in front of Saxon. That's brilliant. Because Saxon had to get past Van der Linden, Boldy's actually got by. To go that lap longer has helped because Saxon fell behind the back of Van der Linden, and Boldy's gone through. So Boldy goes up to 4th place. Great job. And
also just behind, Parisis leapfrogged a bit as well. So great stuff from Parisis. So a couple of final last-minute efforts from these drivers here managed to get them an extra place. So excellent stuff from both Boldy and Parisis to leapfrog the drivers they were trying to get past. And Masculi still holds 10, so that should be quite interesting to see how this all plays out at the end. Lapshin's also, well, Van der Linden is still yet to stop, but in 6th place. But of course, essentially that'll be Lapshin back in net 6th. Actually, that means that Masculi's got past Pushka as well.
Yeah, he has.
So that means
going backwards.
Yep. So that's actually a 9th place for Masculi. And meanwhile, Boldy is now his tyres have now had a lap to bed in and warm up. So his tyres are in a little bit better position, and he's trying to pull away now. So, big slide from Boldy! Look at that! And Brett Saxon's got a great run on the back straight. And this is easy. Should be 4th place. And that was what we said. A commentator's curse rate. They look at the side-by-side banging wheels down the pit straight, back straight rather. And Boldy switches out from the toe as Saxon got past. And we give a switch back, bit of a touch there. Van der Linden's trying to get in there, but his tyres are cooked. And look at that, Boldy's trying to get around the outside. What's he doing? Boldy's trying to get around the outside there. As Van der Linden watches on, Saxon now has the toe there. Boldy has the toe on Saxon down the pit straight. Into turn 1 then, and what can Boldy do anything to get that place back? So all that work Boldy did has for the moment gone to nothing, which is absolutely terrible for the Hungarian. He had 4th place in the palm of his hand, just that mistake out of that corner onto the back straight. But Boldy now will be determined more than ever to use these last kind of 12 or 13 odd laps to get that place back. And look at down the inside, because Boldy's very, very ambitious down the inside. Side by side around turn 6, he got the traction. Oh, bit of contact shoves him out wide, but he does do it. Boldy gets back up to 4th place. Saxon's getting very, very racy indeed. He wants that place back. These two are going to set the duel right to the finish, I have a feeling. And look at Van der Linden trying to get in there as well. He's still yet to stop yet, and Boldy again locking up through turns 9 and 10. And Boldy then is doing everything he can. This should be an awesome battle right to the finish between these two.
Absolutely, that was a great move by Boldy. He got a little bit ambitious on the exit, but he made it stick, and he's got that position back now. Can he hold it through 13 and not oversteer the exit? Going through now, he's straightening the wheel up much faster this time, and he's held this time by. So now can Saxon close? He's in the slipstream. He's quite a way back though. He was 5 tenths off prior to the back straight, and no, he's nowhere near. So that Boldy has done very, very well there to get back by. Obviously, his tyres are 1 lap fresher as well.
Also, quick kill note. One driver we haven't really spoken too much about, probably hasn't really need to. Very quiet race. Yakamikinen, he's up in 3rd place in the 2nd precision car. Good stuff from him on his return, I suppose, at the moment, selling Puma Linen. I think Precision will be very happy with his efforts to get the car up on a podium place, so they can definitely get themselves some more points. And I do believe, if Woodwiss does go ahead and win this race, we still have another 12 laps to go, of course. With 1st and 3rd, I'm pretty sure this will definitely pop Precision up on the top of the team standings.
Yeah, it should do, and I think it's been a fantastic event currently for Precision. Not over yet, but nevertheless.
Hold on a second. Hold on. Boldy's got back past Saxon.
Yeah, we saw that one down at turn 6 a few laps ago, didn't we? The lap before. Boldy got back down the inside turn 6 and pushed back wide.
Okay, that's probably just me thinking that there were different positions before, so my apologies for that. So, it's me just bit of a lapse there, but there we go. Never mind. I think we've still got Van der Linden's leaving it very late for his last stop. Of course, it is that kind of window for the end of that last window for the last stop. So, I think Van der Linden probably Lapshin's closing in hand over fist on him. So I think it's definitely, if Van der Linden doesn't pit now, I think he will be in trouble and will fall right back. So really, I think really Van der Linden really does need to pit now save himself dropping any more places. I mean, for them, again, you've got the likes of Paresis, the Vit, Masculi's close as well, as is Pushko and Berlak as well. So if he's not careful, he might even drop down to 12, which is going to be quite risky for the RS Evo driver. But still, credit where credit's due. Good stuff to get it up to 6th at least. But I think really,
the second ATL management car of the Action is only 2.6 behind Saxon. So it looks like he's going to be closing, because Van der Linden just dived into pit lane, so that's released Lapchin just as he got onto the back of Van der Linden. So we could see the second ATL management car, currently in 6th, starting to make some sort of inroad on the back of John-Eric Saxon and Giorgio Baldi.
Let me have a quick look at lap times that Lapchin's been putting in compared to, let's say, at the moment, John-Eric Saxon's times. Saxon's times, his last couple of lap times were 1:37.6 for lap 43. Lap 44 was 1:37.8 and a 1:36.6 in lap 45. Compare that then to Lapchin's times. He's actually been much quicker. In the last couple of laps, he's been a 1:36.2, then another 1:36.4. So he's closed in quite substantially on the cars in front of him. So I think probably this could be even a 4-way fight for 4th place if we're not careful. It's more like if Baldi and Saxon aren't careful. But Lapchin are pushing hard.
What's happening at the front? Yeah, I do. I've just found out. Bono Weiss with a 35.6. Because I noticed the lap time, it's gone up to 17.4 seconds now for the race lead for Bono Weiss.
Wow.
And I just saw why, because that is an absolutely obliterated Moran's current fastest lap. By nearly 2.5 tenths. That's superb. So 35.674 race pace. And
Moran could only manage that lap last time. I was 36.7, so he was massively quick on that lap time. Pulled out, as we said, another second, which is pretty impressive. Let's have a look here. We haven't had any more retirements as of yet, as we go into the last 10 laps or so. This what's been thoroughly entertaining Formula Sim Racing World Championship Chinese Grand Prix, and we can give you a quick. Haven't we run down the order very much too much? We'll give you a quick rundown with 10 laps to go. So currently, as we said, Bono Weiss does lead the race currently by 17.5 seconds from Morgan Moran, with Jarkko Mikkonen back in the Precision Motorsport car doing extremely well in 3rd place. Then we've got the battle going on 4th, as always, between Baldi and Saxon. Going on Baldi 4th, Saxon 5th. Yank Lapchin slowly closing in 6th place in the second ATL management car. Jim Paresis is holding 7th, ahead of Patrick de Witt in 8th just about. Then we've got Eris Masculi again, he's holding ahead just ahead of Eric Pushka, Philip Pushka rather, who rounds out the top 10 of the race. And of course, retirements, we've had 8 retirements we've had in order of most recent. We had Jimmy Dion retiring, with Leonard Kostadinov, Renaud Rum, Jonathan Dion, Giuseppe Ranieri, Rasmus Tali, Frederick Nielsen and George Jastapantelis, who retired back on lap 5 or lap 6 with a suspension problem. So been a fair attrition rate, but not too much, so that we've had dwindling numbers of cars in the field. But still, it's been an interesting event also, and looks like really, not to put a context curse on it, but if things go to plan, looks like we're looking at a double podium for Precision today.
Yeah, and again, credit to what Jakob Mikkonen has done, obviously returning and put the pace in, and that's been. I tell you what, he's had a very, very good race. He's 6.5 seconds in front of Giorgio Baldi and John X Saxon. Saxon's now fallen to 1.1 behind Baldi. So, in terms of precision, I'm sure Andre Kunchman is going to be one very happy team manager.
Absolutely. Just quick note from Liam, he's got something in the pits for us, Liam.
Yeah, just really what happened to Dejan Kostadinov. We saw him sort of drop away from the field, sort of, past our sight, and what happened was he got crashed into turn 1 and had bad damage. So we saw him earlier on in the race sort of drop to the field, of course, with more damage, and it would have put him down a good couple of laps after already making 2 stops. So they decided to call it a day, and unfortunately that was the end of his race.
Excellent, thank you for that, Liam, and that's quite unfortunate for Kostadinov. He was looking pretty good, he got himself into the near the reach of the top 10, so quite unfortunate for the it's been even a poor day all the way around for GT Omega Racing. They've had a very unfortunate day with Kostadinov and Rasmus Tali both retiring, so really hopefully those teams like RC France and GT Omega will be hoping for better results in Valencia, I thought, in 2 weeks' time.
Something to say as well, I mean, Philip Pushka at the moment is P10 for Ash Racing, and again, sort of been the unspoken hero after picking up a victory yesterday. Has got himself into the top 10 in a World Championship race, so hats off to him.
Of course they have. Of course, you said also behind. Oh, of course, it's Peter Burlack. Of course, who won the World Trophy race. So that's not bad for a World Trophy driver.
Either them three are going to have a nice little battle for 9th, 10th, and 11th because there's only 2.4 seconds split in the three of them.
And apart from that, as you said, Baldy is now slowly but surely just pulling away, just edging out a bit of a gap to Saxon in 5th. So, I mean, really, apart from that battle, it could be. Let's look at it's pretty imminent between Masculi, Pushka, and Burlack. It feels pretty static at the moment for these last couple of laps. Just settling down, just calming down to the last few laps, then to get towards the finish.
The other battle we may see is for 5th because Lapchin has closed even more on Saxon to 1.6 seconds.
The thing we want to watch then, of course, we said we had a very frantic last few laps in the World Trophy race, and of course, I think we did in the World Series as well. So it's not over until the checkered flag is out, and the winner and the man in 1st place crosses the start-finish line for the last time. But yeah, as we said, Lapchin is starting to just steadily close. And I'll quickly check the lap times of those two cars and compare them. Let's have a look. Saxon's lap times for last 3 laps was 156.6. Look, that's very consistent from Saxon. The last 4 laps in a row, he's done 136.6, 136.61, 136.63, 136.62, 136.68. That's very consistent from Saxon. Compared to Lapchin's times, and Lapchin has done, considerably quicker, so 136.2, 136.4, 136.3, 136.0, and matched Saxon on the last lap, 136.6. So kind of, I think Saxon's being very consistent, but Lapchin is closing in by a couple of tenths a lap. So you're right there, Nick. I think Lapchin could possibly be smelling a 5th place here and getting a couple more points for ATR management.
Yeah, it looks pretty well because he's thrown that ATR car about a lot. So we could see a change position for 5th. I think Baldy is looking good for that 4th place because he's pulled a few more tenths on Saxon. He is up to 1.5 seconds, 1.5 seconds. That's you see a net Rex going into 4th place here because that is a fantastic drive. That's the case from Junior Baldy.
I'll tell you something as well. Looking back at 9th place, look at this Pushka. Has pulled out a little bit more of a gap on Burlack, and actually look at that. He's closed right up now onto the back of Masculi's car. As you said, Dorsey, we did say just a moment ago there could be a nice little 3-way battle for 9th. Looks like it's about to kick off anytime soon. Bit of a twitch from Pushka out of turn 4, but he's pushing hard. And I think possibly Masculi will have to keep looking in his mirrors now. He's got a similarly yellow car. And unfortunately, we just may find it's not his teammate Fritz Ogobi because it is actually, in fact, Philip Pushka. It will be for 9th place that he's going to have to defend. And also Burlack actually gone back a little bit in that last couple of laps, so that's quite surprising. But still 11th place is a good points haul for him. He'll be, I thought in some ways he'll be quite pleased with his result nonetheless. Let's have a look, see how close Lapchin's got to Saxon. Oh, the Lapchin's gone very wide out of the last corner. He's gone very, very wide. Now, is that a problem? Now let's have a look at what happened. I'm going to have a quick look at the replay. And, well, Lapchin, his run through turns 11, 12 was okay. But he just went wide. No, was it? No, he ran wide. He just ran very, very wide out on the exit of onto the back straight. So it looks like he just lost a couple of car lengths. So that charge has been, well, it looks like it's been almost all but halted, unless he can really put some stonking laps to try and catch back up to Saxon again. But that's quite unfortunate. We're looking forward to a battle between Saxon and Lapchin.
Yeah, it's 3.4 seconds now. So I think that 4 seconds now is done. It's going to get Pushka against Masculi in a few laps though. Well, maybe even this lap. He's 3 tenths behind, with Burlack 1.4 further back. So I think Pushka against Masculi is going to be on for 9th position.
In closing stages then to the last 6 laps of the 2012 Thrustmaster Formula SimRacing World Championship Chinese Grand Prix. If you just happen to join us, where have you been? Because it's been quite an exciting and intense Grand Prix that we've had. Of course, at the start we had Woodwiss just getting a lightning getaway off the line from the front row and passing Polsett and Morgan Moran to take the lead. And essentially he hasn't lost the lead pretty much, apart from through the pit stops. Hasn't lost the lead pretty much all race. It's almost been like a lights to flag victory for the young Dutch teenager, and it will be his 2nd win in a row and his 2nd win of the season as well. So he is staking his claim to to put himself to be a triple world champion, and he's 3rd in a row as well. So that should be quite interesting to see how he can do that. And of course, if he does achieve a 3rd one this year, he will be like literally he'll be only 18, but he'll be already established among the Formula SimRacing greats of all time. Great drivers like For one, of course, drivers like Roy Colby, and of course Bruno Marquez, who's won multiple championships in FSR as well. So it'll be interesting to see how he gets on in the rest of the season. Of course, Ron Woodwiss really looks to be in the form of his life here in Formula Sim Racing. He's now across the line now. He's got 5 laps to go. So I want to just see how they're going to get on and just see how they're going to finish as we've got Morgan Moran going through turns 1 and 2. And then really just it's Baldy just holding off nicely between Saxon. Lapshin actually, look at Lapshin, he's got the gap down to about 3 seconds now. But he's pushing hard, he's not letting him get away.
No, he's not, he's actually quite a lot of time out of the last lap, so yeah, he's as is pushing on the back of Mascouli for 9th place. All over the rear wings, they come out of 2 through 3, think of 4 and 5. And before we head down to turn 6, he's not going to do it down to 6. No, he's still going to. Well, Mascouli does take a slightly defensive middle of the road line though, as Burlak is 1.2 behind Pushka. So if these two have a bit of a dance, they're going to be seeing a Twister racing car very, very soon.
Yeah, Burlak just sitting there watching and waiting there in the background just to see if he can possibly pounce on the mistakes as Pushka locks up a little bit into turn 9 and 10 goes a little bit wide as a result, but still. Just tagged onto the back of Masculi's slipstream. We'll see exactly how he fares. Look at Masculi really had to brake a bit earlier, locked up again through turns 11. Look at that, and now Pushka might have the run he needs through turns 12 and 13. Let's see how close he is. He's fairly close. That's a good run. This could be a fairly good. He probably could be a little bit closer than he'd like to. Pushka is slightly closing. If you're looking at the back, he's Patrick DeVitris in the pole ground there in 8th place, trying to keep with Jim Parisis, but yeah, the Greek has pulled that little bit of a gap as Pushka continues to close and hound on Masculi. He's got a nice little run up towards the final corner. Masculi went right to the outside. He's going to pull over for a second there, but he doesn't. And look at the run now. Pushka's got that down the pit straight. This is perfect for Pushka now. And Masculi then will have to find a way to defend this somehow. Up towards turn 1. And not quite. Pushka still just keeps it there on the inside. Just holds it nicely and firmly to the inside. And then swings it back through turns 3 and 4. So again, lock up from Pushka again. As you can see, he's pushing. And now, interesting, the gap is. I was going to say the gap now between. That's interesting. The gap now between Lapshin and Saxon is now only 2.2 seconds. So Lapshin, despite that mistake, he's pushing it like crazy again. It's hard to say whether it's going to be enough though, because it's 2.2 seconds. He has to make that up in 4 laps. And how much has he closed on the sector alone? Well, the gap's now let's have a look at it. Well, it's 2.3 now, so he's lost a couple of tenths.
Saxon short shifting. Just watching on board, he's just short shifted all the way through turn 13. I wondered why he just dropped back from Baldy, because he was only 1.4 behind. He's now 2.1. Is he going to struggle with fuel? I don't know, but he's certainly short. He's short shifted through 13. I don't know if that was if he's intentional just to go a little bit careful, but.
Or could it be an engine overheating possibly that he's having trouble with possibly?
It looked like he was K off the hairpin that time, but he definitely short shifted through turn 13.
Either that was maybe his rear tyres are going a little bit, he's struggling for traction. Gap between the two now is still 2.3 seconds. But I wonder then just how much can Lapshin pick up in the last couple of laps then. As well, this is interesting, quickly looking back, that battle for 9th place, look who's tagged onto the back of it. Peter Burlak's found some speed. It's going to be quite interesting for 9th, 10th and 11th.
Yeah, if one of them gets good out of 13, then they're going to be all over each other. Because
look at Burlak.
He's done it already. I think Burlak looks the more likely though. Burlak has been driving so well in the past few laps. He brought the gap down to from 1.4, and he's all over them now. So Burlak's going to try and make some inroads for the Twister Racing team in these last few laps, and try and make an impression on Pushka and Masculi.
Looking through here, we've got the gap now between Saxon and Lapshin was 2 seconds. It's now down to, what is it now down to? It's now down to, as we can see it, oh no, hold on, no, look at the wrong one. Sorry. It's still 2.3. So Saxon is doing enough to keep Lapshin at bay, even though Lapshin is pushing like crazy to try and keep up with them. And just quickly behind them.
Yeah, he'd even short shift that time. I think that was just a moment that he decided to see where he was at. But 3:13 that time there was no short shift. So looks like it's whatever Saxon's issue was on that previous lap is absolutely fine now.
Absolutely. Masculi then just keeping ahead of Pushka and Burlak. Just quickly, any more news for us, Liam? Do you have anything you've managed to find on your travels on the pits?
Not at the moment, but I think what would be interesting is especially going into the final couple of laps now as well, especially with, like, yeah, I mean, Peter Burlack's got right up close to Philip Pushka, so we're definitely going to see a three-way battle for 9th place. Burlack, I don't think would like anything more than to finish in the top 10 position here for Twister and really make a name for himself.
Yeah, it would be pretty. Thank you, Liam. It'd be a pretty immense weekend for him. A win in the World Trophy and a World Championship top 10. Definitely be a weekend to remember for him, especially with the Twister team. Which is to make up for the rather unfortunate races at the race weekend that both the Nilsson brothers have had. Looking back up here to the gap then is between Saxon and Lapshin is now 2.1 seconds, and Lapshin just can't make any more inroads. I think really Saxon's done enough to hold them at bay unless there is some kind of mistake.
I think he's been able to hold it as Woodwiss has just started his final lap.
He has indeed, a young Dutch teenager who never fails to amaze any of us in the Formula Sim racing. Makes his way again through turns 1 and 2, and we'll keep track of that quick. But of course, one of the main battles we've got to look out for, of course, is between Mascudi, Pushka and Burlack. Of course, this again, they haven't started their final lap yet, but of course they're at half a lap behind Woodwiss. But still, now look at Burlack's he's very close to the back of Mascudi's car. This should be quite interesting. Burlack, I think, is
falling towards them as well for 8th place. De Witt's only a second.
Oh, he is
Front.
This could be for 8th place then. Look at that, De Witt's really falling back as he's struggling with fuel. Look at Burlack swarming all over the back of Pushka's car. And, it's a Burlack down the inside of Pushka! Oh, it's a contact, not quite. Burlack getting very ambitious, very impatient as well to try and get past. Keeping track of where Woodwiss is, he's now down at the end of the second sector. He'll be on the pit strip, so we'll keep track of that in a second. And Moran's holding station nicely in second place, and then we've got Baldy and Mikin in third place.
Pushka's going to be outside of Masculi. Into turn 1, can he get it done? Oh, he's pushed it out wide. Pushka's going to hold it all the way around the outside of turn 1.
Not quite.
Masculi is going to hold it, is he? Yes, he is. He tried all the way
around. Look at Burlack as well.
But even through that, they close on De Witt. It's only 6/10 of a second now.
Well, we'll come back to that in a sec, but we have there, well, what can you say? Yeah, got a second place in Australia and a first in Malaysia. It's going to make it 2 wins in a row from round 3. Woodwiss rounds the final corner, and after another exceptional display of driving, wins the Chinese Grand Prix in the Formula Sim Racing World Championship. What a drive from Woodwiss, and he rightfully so weaves in delight, because that was an exceptional drive. Another win for Precision Motorsports. Second coming out the hairpin. What an effort. He did 3 poles in a row. What an effort Morgan Moran put in for second place. Here he goes then across the line a bit. Another decent points for another podium, and through the hairpin. And again, third place, what can you see? He's come back with precision, and what a way to make a comeback with his team from last year. Jarko Meekin around the final corner, and what a way to announce a comeback to the team. Third place, he should be extremely happy with that. And let's look quickly with that battle going on between the cars. Back to that battle for 9th place. It's going to be a last of a late break.
Young and old, yeah. This is mental.
Oh, look at Mascudi, Pushka's going to the outside. Burlack to the Trolloc as well on the slipstream. 3-1 up towards the... He's going to get it. Pushka around the outside of the hairpin. Not quite. Mascudi's going to try and get it as well. Burlack's going to get side by side with Pushka. And De Witt's just going to hold him off side by side. Pushka and Mascudi round the last corner. Look at Mascudi on the inside of the feet. He's got it. Pushka's going to get the run down to the straight. Oh, there's contact. Mascudi's off. Lost his front wing and he's dropping to 11.
Ooh.
That was and that was Mascudi's hit the back of De Witt's car. That was probably out of anger, because I think De Witt possibly. Let's look at a replay of that. I'm going to have a look. Now Mascudi, he looked up the inside of the De Witt car, and De Witt actually closed the door on him. He lost it one, and Mascudi came across, and Pushka he left Pushka nowhere to go. And Burlack came across, and actually I think Burlack actually got stolen 9th on the line. And then actually Burlack Mascudi then was extremely angry, it looks like, with actually De Witt's car. De Witt and actually slammed into the back of his car. So what a dramatic finish that was on the last corner. So other cars that have finished, Marcel van der Linden's finish is 12th. But wow. And apparently De Witt said that apparently his fuel was up with the final corner to go, and that's probably the reason why he struggled. So he literally ran out of fuel on the last lap, on the last corner rather. But wow. Formula Sim Racing, it never fails to amaze, especially with that last lap drama.
That was unbelievable. There was such chaos between those 4 cars. No one was giving anyone any room, and it looks like it was all stacked up because Patrick De Witt's fuel ran out. On the final corner, he managed to just basically fall over the line But yeah, it stacked the drivers up behind. It was absolutely crazy that. Incredible though the contact they had in the final corner. I'm sure race direction are going to have a look at that, but that was very difficult final corner for those 4 drivers after De Witt's fuel ran out.
Wow, that was quite an unexpected finish to the race then. Quickly, Liam, your thoughts on today's race? How did you view it from there in the pits?
Well, I thought it was a great race to be fair. I mean, Dainhumain really started to show his dominance towards the end of the race, especially as Morgan Moran obviously with a spin earlier on. But I think obviously the big talking point to the end of the race was definitely that 4-way battle for 8th place as De Witt's fuel started to run out, started to slip into it, but there was chaos in the final corner. I think that definitely there's going to be some stewarding going on to the early hours of the morning trying to figure out what exactly happened there. But I think for me, driver of the day has got to be Giorgio Baldi.
Yep, absolutely. Actually, Nick, turn to you. Who's your driver of the day today?
Giorgio Baldi for me. I think he did superb to get 4th place. I think that was absolutely fantastic for the Networks team as well. That was massively impressive, and especially the battle he had with John-Eric Saxon there as well. So yeah, fantastic work there today from Giorgio Baldi. And just one other note, I'm sure people have already checked it out already, but I'm sure the fantasy table is going to be pretty interesting behind those front 3. If people want to have a look at it, it's fantasy.formula-simracing.net. So make sure you check out the fantasy league as well, because beyond the top 3, that's going to make for some interesting reading.
Absolutely. I think my driver today is going to have to be, despite the 4th place of Baldi, I'm going to have to give it to John-Eric Saxon, because I think Fast and Speed had a very tough season last year. And Saxon obviously coming with that team and putting a brilliant 5th place. All credit to Baldi, fantastic drive from him as well, but for me, Saxon with 5th place was driver of the day quickly. Just very quickly, before we wrap up, let's give you the final results then of this afternoon's Chinese Formula Sim Racing World Championship Grand Prix. And Dainhumain once again wins. It's another win for him, and it's 2nd win of the season for him, 2nd in a row, and he finished 21 seconds ahead of Morgan Moran for ATR Management IYF. And then 3rd place, let's have a look at what we've got on the live timer actually, because it's actually gone ahead to save the replay. The 3rd place again was, results have actually disappeared off the screen. So 3rd place, just thinking back, was Jarkko Miekkinen, for precision again. 4th place was Giorgio Baldi, excellent stuff from him for the Netrex team. 5th was, I'm trying to get the memory here, it was actually John-Eric Saxon. Then in 6th place, we had Yannick Lapshin managed to finish in 6th place. 7th place for... Might have to help me out here because I'm struggling a little bit. Actually, yes, 7th place I think was Jim Parisis for Go Speed. Then that crazy sequence at the end, I think actually put De Witt just about held on to 8th place. Then it was actually, I think Peter Burlak stole 9th on the line, ahead I think of Philip Pushkin with Eros Masculi 11th across the line. I think Marcel van Linden rounded out the top 12, and the rest of the results actually do escape me, unfortunately. But yeah, that is it for today's race. My thanks, of course, to obviously my co-commentator Nick Rowland, and of course Liam Jenkins at the pits, who did a fantastic job for us this afternoon. Also thanks to our sponsors Thrustmaster and RC, and of course check out Rasmus Tarley's Twitter, which is at Rasmus Tarley. And until then, of course, the next round time you'll see us is in 2 weeks' time, and that will be at the Spanish Grand Prix at the Valencia Street Circuit. Obviously, I said that will be in 2 weeks' time. The first race will, of course, be the World Trophy event, and that will be at about 2 o'clock in the afternoon GMT, and we'll obviously see that live here on simrace.tv. So until then, from myself, from Nick, and from Liam, this has been a FormulaSimRacing.net presentation for simrace.tv. But thanks very much for tuning in, and it is Dainhumain once again winning for precision. Can he do it again in Spain? Will Morgan Moran get his revenge? Until then, like I said, for myself, Nick, and Liam, bye for now.